score would indicate, and I think that they're ready to improve on their 500 record from a season ago.
Yeah, Jim Deere's he's a great football coach, and he's won championships in 2012, 2014. He knows what the formula is, Greg, and the formula for them is good, solid, fundamental defense, being in the right place, the right time. On offense, you pound it between the tackles, and then when they walk up in the box to stop the run game, you throw over the top. That's Jim's formula.
And one thing that helps to make that formula successful is when you've got some outstanding offensive weapons, and the Bulldogs certainly do, and we could see two major milestones today. Emmanuel Stewart, their outstanding running back, he is just 58 yards shy of 4,000 career rushing yards. He's second in terms of active D3 running backs in career yardage, and he's been a standout almost every time we've ever seen them play.
Stewie's an anomaly, Greg, as a running back, because normally you're quick and that's the guy you go to the edge. Or you're a bruising kind of guy and you bust it up between the tackles. Stewie can do both. He can run between the tackles, and he's got incredible speed on the outside. He's improved his ability to catch the football, so you get him one-on-one out on the perimeter against the defensive back, that's a mismatch.
Yeah, he gets open space. That's bad news for the defense. And he's also complemented on the Adrian offense by an outstanding receiver, another senior in Jaron McGaw. His first reception today of any substantial yardage will put him over 2,000 career receiving yards, and he's second all-time in the Adrian list. He might be number one on the all-time Adrian career receiving list before this year's over.
Greg, you framed that very well. McGaw's a guy that understands the passing philosophy. He's a good route runner. He gets open, creates windows for the quarterback to see him and get him the football, and he can get deep.
We'll see how this goes today as Adrian comes out against the Buffalo State Bengals, who lost a really tough one last week. Should be a good one here this afternoon. Adrian College football on BCSN.
Dr. Bruce and Miss Kim Dippin this afternoon as our honorary captains and ceremonial coin flippers. Bruce and Kim are both 1977 graduates of Adrian College. As a student, Bruce was involved in swimming and is a member of the Pi Kappa Sigma fraternity. He studied political science and went on to further his education in health and physical therapy. He also serves on the alumni board here at the college. Kim was an English major and recently retired from Monroe Public Schools as an assistant principal. As a student, Kim was involved in theater and the yearbook and is a member of Sigma sorority. The Dibbins have been extremely loyal to the college through the years, mentoring students, helping with campaign projects, and attending Adrian College events. Please give a huge bulldog welcome to Bruce and Kim Dibbin.
Oh, am I coming through the thing? Oh no. Can you guys hear me still? Hello? Can you hear me?
Adrian's won the toss and has elected to defer. Switch those. Let's go! Back to the goal line, you're back in goal. Buffalo State will receive the opening kickoff in the west end zone. Gentlemen, shake hands. Let's have a great game.
Maybe. You want to. I remember last year, students all came on the field on the far side in the third quarter, and I had to stay on this side for the entire second half.
Underway with the opening kickoff, and the ball is caught for a minute. I thought we were maybe going to see a run back, but it's fumbled into the end zone, so he has to go back and touch back. He didn't appear that he was signaling a fair catch. He might have ventured out, but as it was, they will take over on the 25-yard line, and we'll get this game underway between the Buffalo State Bengals in white and the, as always, dark-clad Adrian College Bulldogs. You can see their starting defense, and they have a lot of solid guys up there. Colin Lewis, 95, is a freshman, 6'2", 284-pounder. Another freshman, Josh Barney, 6', 270. You see them, and so they got a lot of young guys in the defensive interior. We'll see how they stand up in their first home opportunity. George Barber, another freshman up there. Handoff on opening play of scrimmage, and they did well on that first play as they stuffed that for no gain.
Well, Coach Jimmy Deere, as we talked about in the open, he's a championship caliber coach, and he understands defense. He was a great defensive back himself, a defensive coordinator back in the day before becoming a head coach, Greg, and he knows the first thing you have to do, even in the modern game today, is stop the run. Once you stop the run, then you get after the passer.
They did give him a yard, 2nd and 9 from the 26, Kevin Turillo, the quarterback. And hand off, and they maybe get another yard, but no more on that one.
And you know, Greg, in that defensive philosophy, if you can do that and really plug up the A and B gaps, the gaps between the guard and the tackle, and you can't run inside, and then create 3rd and longs, those are difficult situations for quarterbacks. If you put them in enough 3rd and longs, they're going to make mistakes.
There is Kevin Turillo, the starting quarterback. And he was a backup last year to Kyle Hoppe. He got 44 pass attempts. He was 20 for 33, 264 yards last week in that close loss they had to Bridgetown, Massachusetts. There's a fade down the right sideline way over everyone, and a very impressive first defensive series for Adrian.
That was great coverage. They were in cover 2, Greg. They had 2 deep safety. The corner had good coverage. The safety rolled over. There was no place to put that ball.
So it will be a punting situation. And we'll see what the Adrian offense can do, presumably with good field position here. As the ball will be booted from the 15, a high end-over-end kick. That could even take an Adrian bounce, depending on how it lands. Takes a slight bounce, not too much of one, and it'll be excellent field position on the 43 for Adrian to start on offense.
Greg, had a great conversation we did with Dr. Docking, the outstanding president of Adrian College, and they have new turf down, and it looks fantastic. It's great for television, great for the fans, great for the players, but Dr. Docking was more concerned. It's a safety element. It's a better artificial surface. There's more padding underneath it, and they feel that it's going to curtail a number of injuries because it's such a good surface.
So the Adrian College Bulldogs going to work on their first offensive series, and a pass out into the right flat. And we'll see if they call that a completion. And it does appear that they did. And the starting quarterback is Jack Werzer. He's a 5'9" freshman out of Pinckney, Michigan, in his very first start. And that's a good way to start your collegiate career, with a simple completion.
Well, it's a smart offensive call, Greg. You want to get your freshman quarterback in his first start settled in. So a 2-step hitch is almost an automatic completion. It makes him feel good.
Gives him 4 yards on first down. He now has a perfect passing percentage in his collegiate career. Here comes Emmanuel Stewart around the left end, and he manages to get all the way to the 42-yard line of Buffalo. Kareem Robinson on the tackle, and Emmanuel Stewart that much closer now to 4,000 career rushing yards as he picked up 8. Well, 50 yards away from the mark.
Greg, we talked about Stewie in the open, and that he's an anomaly as a running back. He can run between the tackles with power, but if you get him out on the edge in space, boy, he's a handful, and he's very good in the passing game.
They give him the ball, he could take care of most of those 50 yards on one play. He's that
yes,
explosive,
he can.
And they've given it to him again. This time, however, they have it strung out, and a good play there by number 94, Cliff Brown, to wrestle him over the sideline out of bounds.
Well, that time, Greg, the Adrian Bulldogs did not get the edge blocked. If you're going to run to the outside, you got to block the corner. You got to get the defensive corner blocked. You got to get the outside linebacker blocked, and they didn't.
2-yard loss on that play. So it will be 2nd and 12 from the 45 of Buffalo State. Single setback. Stewart behind the quarterback. Man in motion, play action, down the field, caught. And very nicely executed as he hits Jaron McGraw. And that should put Jaron McGraw over the 2,000 career rushing or receiving yard mark as an Adrian Bulldog.
McGraw just runs a little turn in, Greg, but what he did is he came back to the quarterback, he walled off the defensive back, and give give Worcester a lot of credit for a freshman. There were some people around him in the pocket, and he stood up and threw it tough.
That is for McGaw, his 130th career reception, and he has broken that 2,000-yard barrier. As he said, the second leading receiver all time for Adrian, and really driving hard in the interior for the first down is Stewart, and he's not that large, but he certainly belies that with the power with which he runs the football.
That's a good statement, Greg. He runs bigger than he is, and some backs are like that. He runs with power, and he has an ability. If you keep giving him the football, and let's say Stewie gets 20, 23 touches, he's going to take a couple of them to the house. It's just mathematical with him.
Paul Brinkle had him all wrapped up. He's probably short. He kept driving for it. And there's another pass downfield that is caught. And that one, no, they're going to say this is incomplete. As apparently a good catch was made by Cal Raker. And we'll take a look here on the replay.
Nice fake by Worcester. It's a layer pass where you have two people in the same eyesight, the same line sight of the quarterback. Take another look at it. Does he get his hands underneath that?
It appears he had it. I didn't think there was much question just looking at it in real time.
The official was right there, and he must have seen something we didn't on that.
Maybe something nobody else did.
Yeah.
2nd and 10 from the 31, handoff. And this time they really stack up the middle of the line as the ball went to Colton Randall, 5'11", 201-pound running back. And no gain on the play.
It's just a straight zero smash where you're trying to get some room up over the center or over the right guard. Credit to Buffalo State. They closed down it. There wasn't really anything there.
Trey Pitts leading the charge defensively, but several other Bengal players were there. 3rd and 8 from the 29. Wurzel has looked good throwing the football. Let's see what he does here in a passing situation. Another play action. Gonna have to run with it. Looks like he may have room to get the first down. And he apparently wins the race to the sideline.
Well, the young quarterback did a great job there for Adrian in his first start, Greg. He got out on the edge, and he extends the ball at the very end here. Watch this.
They're not going to give him the first down, though.
Well, he does a good job trying to get it anyway. See, he sees where the first down opportunity is. See him extend the ball right there? That's a good job.
Yeah, I thought the extension gave it to him, but they evidently ruled that his knee was down before. So it's 4th down and 1, but they're going to go for it. You know, the guy like Stewart in the backfield, that's not a bad wager, one would think. They're going to give him the ball. But they collapse on him, and I guess Buffalo State was pretty certain that's where the ball was going, and they were ready.
I was going to say the same thing, Greg. Buffalo State figured it out, too. The Stewie was going to get it. So sometimes you got to, you fake the Stewie and you boot out, and you sleeper block the tight end and release him, and you got a big play.
No matter how hard you run, it's hard to get 2 yards with 5 guys on you. And they got good penetration up front to that Buffalo defense. So that opening drive, which looked very impressive, comes to naught, and it's still 0-0. And certainly the key play was the phantom trap, you might say. It took away that first down. That would have really had Adrian in business, and that took them out of their offensive rhythm they had been in. 1st and 10, going the other way from the 22. And again, the Adrian defense looking very solid, as Paul Tonic was not the tonic that the Buffalo State offense was looking for.
I like that. Watch this. They're trying to run B-gap here between the guard and the tackle, and Adrian just fills it and shuts it down. There's nothing there.
That'll be 2nd and 11. So you see there, one of those big bruisers on the line. Bruiser's a good name for an Adrian College player. Colin Lewis there, 95, did a good job on that last play. There's a pass across. It is completed. And that will be good for a Buffalo State first down, as Jordan Everett hauled it in despite getting a real hit from Tim McPhee.
That's a nice throw and catch here. Looks like a deep turn in, good setup, good transfer weight. Oh man, might be even a little interference there. It was pulling on the jersey, and then he got hit up around the head. Could have been a face mask call, could have been Could have been called. It wasn't. Neither was called, but it was a completion.
Brandon Moody was all over him. Who knows, if it hadn't been caught, maybe it would have been called. But 1st and 10 from the 34. Play action swing pass left. And that'll get him 5 yards. That's a good play on 1st down. Get that ball spaced to the outside. Jamar Rutledge, and he is their top running back. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Actually, he's the top receiver. He had 8 receptions, 68 yards, and 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, this is just a little hitch screen. You drive down 1, come back 1, quarterback shoots you the ball. You got a blocker out in front of you. You can block because the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage and make the corner come up and fight off a blocker and make a tackle.
Rutledge scored a touchdown with 27 seconds left. It got them within 1 point. They went for 2, didn't convert, and lost last week by 1 to Bridgetown, Mass. Tarillo forced to the outside, trying to buy time. Finally, he'll just step out of bounds and kill the play.
Give Tarillo credit there. That's a great job. A lot of people don't understand that sit in the stands and eat the hot dogs and drink the Pepsi. That why didn't he throw it downfield? Why didn't he make a play? He looked at 2 or 3 different receivers. There was nothing there. There's nothing to be had. So instead of putting it up for grabs, turning it over, he intelligently just gets out of bounds.
Lost a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Out of the shotgun. He's going to tuck it and run. And as Wurzel did earlier, he tries to get the 1st down yardage before going out of bounds. And unlike Wurzel on that earlier play, they do award him the 1st down.
Well, this is awareness again. He knows what he needs to get a 1st down. He knows where it is, and then he gets out of bounds and avoids taking a hit.
Willow got forced into 1 start last year when Kyle Hoppe was injured. In that start against Cortland, he was 21 of 44 for 304 yards, 2 TDs, and 3 interceptions. 30 for 60 on the season. He got some good playing time under his belt before taking over the controls himself this year. Tonic again. And once more, the Adrian defense has just been shutting down any semblance of a running game so far. And the charge that time is led by number 2, Lawrence Austin, the outside linebacker.
Well, the number one thing, even in football today, Greg, that you have to do to start out a game is you must stop the run. If you can stop the run, then you make the other team one-dimensional and you deal with the pass game. But if you don't stop the run, you aren't going to win many football games. And Adrian's doing a pretty good job against the run.
Very good job against the run, in fact. 2nd down and 7. Play action again. That was a wobbly looking pass, picked off. And McPhee on a run back all the way back to the 42-yard line of Buffalo State. He triple clutched that ball.
Well,
but he got it and then he took off.
When you make a team one-dimensional, Greg, they make mistakes. This is not a good throw. It's a wobbler. It's a mallard, well overthrown. He catches it like 2 or 3 different times here, and then he finally puts it away. It's a great play. Good concentration.
Afraid that he just might have lost the handle on that ball. But he was able to come up with it and make a great return. So now we have one of our ace student reporters from Adrian College down on the field. Let's go down to Chris Pearson on the sidelines.
Hi, Chris Pearson here, and I'm here with first-year head coach Brett Wetzel of the men's lacrosse team. And Brett, I'd like to ask you where your excitement is at and what are your expectations for your first year here at the college?
I'm really excited to be here. I know we've had a really good program in prior years, and we're expecting to start our turnaround this year. I think we're really looking forward to some good things from our first-year class.
Nice. And if you have any traits or influence that you want to implement into the program, what would that be?
We're trying to get back to where we were, like I said, and we're trying to really bring back a hard-working culture. We had that in prior years, and I think we need to get back to that level, and that's the first thing we're really trying to do this year.
Okay, and if you had any message or shout-out to give to the college here, what would it be?
I'd love to see the students out at the games. I'd love to see some of the community come out and really support the program this year. That'd be awesome.
All right, that wraps it up for here on the sideline, and I'm about to send it up to Tom and Greg. Thank you.
All right, thanks. That was a great catch by Emmanuel Stewart on that pass down the left sideline.
Well, Greg, it was a go route. We talked about Stewie getting in the pass game, and he has exceptional speed and good hands, and that was an example of it.
Play action, crossing pattern, touchdown, McGaw on a slant in the end zone. And Adrian goes on top with two explosive offensive plays, a pass first to Stewart and then falling right up to McGaw.
McGaw ran a little drive slant. He had one-on-one coverage, Greg. There was no safety over the top, so the minute he gets the inside release, it's a touchdown. See, there was no help. And what the defensive back can't do there, Greg, he can't give him the inside. You got to take the inside away and make him throw a fade, and then you got a chance. The minute you give him the inside release, it's over.
Kick slice through the uprights, and Adrian strikes quickly on their second offensive drive, and they lead 7-0 over Buffalo State. Adrian, after that lightning strike for the touchdown, the kickoff fielded, and we are going to have a return this time, and out to the 28-yard line after the ball was momentarily fumbled. Sometimes that's a precursor to a good return, but excellent coverage again, and leading the charge and making the tackle there, number 49, Lorenzo Hassel.
You know, Greg, we should make note the starting quarterback for Adrian, freshman, first start, Jack Werser. This is a great start for him. When you talk about a confidence builder, he made a couple nice runs, a couple short passes, the big long go route on the sideline to Stewart, and then the little drive slant in the end zone for a touchdown. As a quarterback, you're pumped up when you start that way.
He plays 59 yards, and both times they were really well-thrown balls. He's off to a tremendous start. In fact, he'd still be perfect if it wasn't for that one ball that was called a trap when it looked on the replay very possibly as though it should have been a good catch. And he's looked good on every throw he's made. 1st and 10 from the 28. Tonic, and actually number 24 that one is. That's Martin Bailey, broke a tackle and got close out to the first down yard.
Now that's a good run by Bailey. I mean, he was really wrapped up once or twice, and he broke both tackles, got north-south, moved the chains, and got a first down.
Did get the first down, and that will put the ball on the 38. That's the first down Buffalo State has recorded, and is their first profitable running play they've attempted. Four receivers out, single setback, 2 to each side, and that ball is not well directed.
Yeah, that actually, the mechanics of that release by Torillo were off. He dropped his arm down. He didn't keep his elbow up, dropped his arm down, and then when you stride forward to throw the football, when your arm's down, the only place the ball's going to go is in the ground. You got to get your arm and your elbow up a little bit, have it elevated.
It was his target, Jordan Everett, the junior receiver, had 5 catches for 153 yards last week in that close loss for Buffalo State. Downfield again, great snag in Adrian territory. Down to the 41-yard line, Jamar Rutledge with a fine catch in traffic.
Rutledge did a great job, and it was a good throw that time by Torillo. It was a straight seam route. There it is. Over the linebackers in front of the safety, and he put it right where it needed to be. It's really a terrific pass.
Rutledge, the only returning all-conference player for Buffalo State. This is the 3rd overall meeting between these two teams. They played in 98 and 99, once in Adrian, once at Buffalo, and Buffalo won both times. Delayed handoff to Tonic, and he managed to slice off a tackler and finally get positive yards. Picked up 3 on first down.
You know, these offensive philosophies between Buffalo State and the Adrian Bulldogs are very similar. They're going to run in between the tackles. They're going to pound the ball in between the tackles. Then when you kind of crawl up to the line of scrimmage to try and stop that, then they're going to try to get a big chunk throwing downfield. Very similar offenses.
Tonic's 44. That's actually 24, Martin Bailey again. And for the second consecutive run, he broke a tackle and got good yardage. Adrian continues to make early hit with good penetration. There goes Bailey once more and continuing to run hard. And he was stopped by Lawrence Austin, but not before he again gets close to first down yardage.
These are both offenses, Greg. They're going to eat a lot of clock. They take a lot of time in their possessions. They run between the tackles. They throw the ball selectively. So this should be a rapid moving game. It's they're clock-eating offenses.
We are down to just over a minute and a half. And the clock running in the first quarter. It seems like we just started. Again, 4 out, single setback. Bailey, and he's got that first down. He's been impressive since coming on. Adrian had their running game totally bottled up, and he's carried the ball 3 times, and every time with efficacy.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that means, Greg. I still have open transcripts, so you're going to have to help me with that. But I'll tell you what, Bailey's the kind of runner where he understands what he needs to get. I love those kind of guys, Greg. You give him the ball, and if you need a yard, you need a yard and a half. They get you what you need to move the chains, and those guys are so valuable.
Every time he's made a good run.
There you go. You see, you help me out. You know I'm limited.
Play action, trying to expand your vocabulary a little. There's a pass and calling for an interference, but no. And that was the standout defensive player, Chris Adams, 3 times all conference at 2 different positions, the linebacker and free safety, and he made a hit right as the ball arrived, and you could see the dispute over whether it was before, but the official kept the flag in the pocket.
I think it's a good no call. You know, it wasn't really obvious. I think the ball was delivered a little bit late. If he would have thrown it a count sooner, he may have had a play.
You're going to go trips left here for 2nd and 10. Single setback again. Looped over the top to Bailey as he circled out of the backfield, and look how hard he runs as he got down to the 16 as he just lowered his shoulder and took on 2 defenders and came out the better for it.
Yeah, this is a really nice play. It's called a circle in, Greg, and Purdue used to run this in the 60s and 70s. You take the back, and he starts in a wide bow out and then circles in behind where the linebackers were. They're called replacement patterns, and boy, that was done very, very well. Great execution, good touch on the ball by Torillo.
Now 44, Tonic is back in after Bailey has really injected some life into this Buffalo State offense. As they have a 1st and 10 from the 12, pitch to Tonic, and he's hit, fumbled. Torillo trying to dive on it. And managed to, but not before a huge loss, but a late flag. I don't know if they're going to call personal foul for a late hit.
Yes, they are. There's a couple things that went on here. It wasn't Tonic's fault, Greg. They ran a speed option out of the gun, out of the power eye. When Torillo pitched it, he really should have hung on to the ball because Tonic had somebody in his face the minute he pitched it.
Yeah, he never really had control of the ball.
That's a read. The quarterback keeps it and just turns up inside. But give the quarterback credit. Torillo, when it was fumbled, he smartly got back and got on the football, retained possession of it. And the first cover for Adrian was okay. But when the second guy came in, that was the foul.
That was not a smart penalty to take as they had a 19-yard loss, but this late hit is going to make it an automatic first down.
See, that's the second guy.
If the call was on the first guy, you'd say, hey, that's borderline.
First guy was okay. The second guy was the one.
That was not a smart play at all. I guess he had one coming because he made that big interception earlier.
There you go.
But that hurts as it would have been a really long yardage situation. Now it's first down from the 15.
It was a bad read by Torillo. He shouldn't have pitched that ball. He should have kept it and gone up inside. Tonic didn't have a chance.
And when you know the other team's just had a disaster befall them, you don't take them off the hook.
Right. I got to tell you, though, Greg, when you're running the speed option and you're coming down the line and it's you're going to get hit or you're going to pitch and the back's going to get hit. Sometimes quarterbacks,
they opt for the latter.
I've done it myself. I mean, I have to be totally honest. I've done it myself. I've pitched it out when I probably should have kept it, you know, and they got hit.
I noticed I didn't have to explain the meaning of that phrase.
No, No. I was known as a quick pitcher on the option. I wasn't really looking to take the hit, to be really honest with you. So I understand that concept.
They're going to reset the clock. The clock's down to 0, but there's another play that will be run. And they will simply not reset the clock, but just time it from upstairs. Well, they are going to put 0.2 of a second on the clock. Wait, how can you judge that they stopped at 0.2 of a second early?
I don't know. That's a good question.
He said 2 seconds, and I thought he said just that they were just going to basically keep it at 0 and start and run off the 2 seconds. They made the announcement.
They probably just said there's 1 play left.
That's probably why he said it, because then they ended up putting 0.2 of a second on.
We have 1 play left before we change.
Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be a play run in less than 2 seconds.
No.
Now it's over anyway. So I failed to see the point in all that, but the first quarter is over, and it was an exciting first quarter. And we'll be right back. Adrian up 7-0. 7-0 Adrian over Buffalo State, but Buffalo State threatening after they were taken off the hook with that personal foul that negated what would have been a 19-yard loss. So we'll see what they do with their reprieve. And I'd keep going to Bailey right now, because he is, not only has he been effective, but he's been getting a lot of his yards on his own without a lot of blocking support.
Yep.
And he does it again there, grinding out 4 yards on first down.
Greg, that's a great observation. You know, there are certain backs that just have the skill and the knack, and you're looking at 2-4 Bailey, have the skill and the knack to find the little seam, to find the hole, to get the extra yard, to make somebody miss, to drop a shoulder and be physical when you need him. Bailey appears to be that kind of guy.
Second down, they gave him 3 there. 7 to go from the 11. And apparently they took too long there.
Now,
well, they called it a false start. You didn't even see the motion. It was very, very minimal, but enough to warrant the call. It'll be now 2nd and 12. 3 receivers out to the right. Rillo looking left. Back right, nobody open downfield. Finally, slips it off to his safety valve man for a short gain, complete to number 7, Jordan Everett.
Well, that was great coverage by the Adrian Bulldogs. Cirillo looked really almost to 4 different receivers. He looked left first, he looked left middle, he looked right up top, and then right on the sideline and the outlet, as you described, Greg. So he went to 4 different areas to deliver the football, so that's great coverage.
Third and 12 from the 16. And again, they're not in sync.
Is that movement again, Greg? I was kind of blocked out by that.
Appears it is going on the offense.
Ball start. There's got to be something they're doing with Cirillo's doing with his cadence, Greg. It's pulling the lineman off up front. You don't want to pull your own guys off. You want to pull the other guys off.
That's fun in the playground,
yeah.
But in this level.
I wasn't a good quarterback, but I was smart enough to know that. You try to pull the other guys off, not fool your guys.
Now it's 3rd and 7. It was 3rd and 7. Now it's 3rd and 17 as they're going backwards. Here's some pressure from the edge. A little slip pass off, and Bailey again barreling his way down to the 10. He's been very impressive, number 24.
Yeah, he is. You were on him early, 24 for Buffalo State, Bailey. This is just the pass that they ran in the other end, a little circle into Bailey. He runs it well, gets the ball, and gets a little positive yardage.
Not enough, though, so it will be 4th and 10 in a field goal attempt coming up here. But it makes it more or less a chip shot for Merrick Sproul. So that gain certainly was beneficial for them. 28-yarder, but no. Must have been partially blocked, as it just did not take off anywhere.
Well, yeah, you can see he kind of dropped his head. He feels bad. I don't know, Greg. We'll have to take a look. Maybe
it went off the side of his foot.
Maybe our great director will give us a look. Thank you, sir. We'll take a look. Good snap, good hold.
No, he
just chunked it. That's a bad 7-iron out on the golf course. When you swing the club and you get too much turf and the big hunk of turf flies up in the air. He chunked it. He got too far underneath the ball.
I don't think I would need all the fingers on one hand to count the number of times I've seen something like that. I might not even need any.
He got too far under, Greg, and it just popped it up. The minute his head went down, that told you that it wasn't blocked, that it was on him. You could see his body language, his head went down.
Hand off to Stewart. And he picks up 3 around left end on 1st down.
I would tell you this, and not to make a braggadocio statement, but I think Emmanuel Stewart has got to be one of the best Division II running backs in the country. I mean, this man is special. He's got breakaway speed. He can run between the tackles. He can catch the ball vis-a-vis. He had a long go route on the sideline already today. He is really a special back.
Anthony Reasoner at 4,099 total yards from Eureka College is the number 1 active D3 back, and Stewart is 2nd. There's a pass to the left sideline for a completion. Again, close to the 1st down, caught by McGaw again.
McGaw, he runs disciplined routes. He understands the pass game. He's tough. He gets his hands outside his body when he catches the football. He's really fundamentally sound. Take a look at this. Little turnout on the sideline. He got his hands outside his body before the DB could get into him and punch that ball away.
And they did give him the 1st down, so it is 1st and 10 from the 30.
When Stewart moves on from Adrian College, Greg, I'm telling you, with the wider field in Canada, he could be a terrific back in Canada. I really, really think he could be.
And a timeout called here. And we'll take one as well. 11:41 to go in the 1st half. 7-0, Adrian leading. First and 10 from the 30. Adrian leading 7-0. Fake, they swung it out to McGaw, and that's the first not that well thrown ball by Jack Werzer all game long.
Yeah, I think anytime you throw a ball like that, Greg, you haven't put your feet in the proper placement. So I'm assuming that his footwork on that pass was not correct. But Jack, number 15, freshman quarterback, first start for the Adrian Bulldogs, really has been exemplary. He's done a great job. But that, you're right, that was a missed throw on his part.
It's a little better than the missed field goal attempt, but somewhat near the same category. However, he's played so exceptionally well here so far that it's easily forgivable. And pick up about 3 in the first quarter. Werzer was 4 for 5, and then the second quarter started, and he hit those 2 passes that covered 59 yards in 2 plays, so he's just been on fire for the most part.
Yeah, he's done a great job. And number 6 for Adrian, Emmanuel Stewart, we'll talk about him all day long. There wasn't anything there off tackle, and he still got 3 yards, really. He's a lot tougher than he looks. He looks smallish, but he's really physical. But I think the play was outside. I think Emmanuel missed the read that time. If he takes it outside, he might still be running.
Last week, he got 92 yards on 25 attempts. Ohio Northern actually contained him pretty well. And an out pattern to McGaw, and he cradles that one for another first down on the 43.
McGaw is the quarterback's best friend, and by that I mean the reason for that is he's where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. That was a sideline turnout route. He was right where he was supposed to be. Werzer could count on him. He could throw in front of the break. You know, some receivers, they don't run routes in a disciplined fashion, and you throw the ball ahead of the break, and they're not there, and it makes you look bad or the ball gets picked off. McGaw you can count on.
First and 10 on the 43. Hand off to Stewart, and he accelerates around right end and gets to the 47. He's a kind of a back where you almost know before the game starts that he's going to have 1 or 2 breakaway runs every game.
Well, we said it was mathematical, Greg, and it is. He's close to going here. You know, he had a bad angle into the short side of the sideline, but if he touches it 23 times in the run game and the pass game total, he's going to take 2 to the house. I mean, that's just, it's mathematical. He has that kind of ability.
Almost looked like that might have been one of them.
Yeah.
He really had quick acceleration upon receiving the ball. Still a good gain for another first down on the Buffalo State 46. Handoff, and a good gain on first down as the ball goes to Colton Randall.
Well, and what he does for the other running backs that Adrian brings in, Greg, he's such a threat, Emmanuel Stewart, that you have to worry about his speed and his breakaway ability and ability to break tackles and take it to the house. Then he's the fastball. They bring in another runner, and he's kind of the change of pace, and you kind of forget about the other runner, and then he rips off 5 or 6 on you. So Emmanuel makes the entire running crew at Adrian better.
2nd and 4 from the 40. Swung out to McGaw. He had the first down, then gave it up and fumbled. Sometimes you can try to do too much after receiving the pass, and that appeared to be what happened there.
Greg, that's a great call on your part. That's exactly what happened. McGaw did a good job. He caught a little hitch, and he got a little greedy. He tried to do more with it than was there. Credit the defender. I mean, that's a good defensive play, Greg. He came in not only to make the tackle, but to strip the ball out, and that's taught. Those are things they work on every day. Give the defender credit.
Especially when the runner starts bobbing and weaving, trying to do something more. You might forget about ball security a little bit.
Yep.
And the recovery by Joshua Benjamin. And a break for Buffalo State as Adrian looked like they were on the verge of breaking this game open a little. Cirillo back to throw on first down. Bad pass right into the waiting arms of Lawrence Austin. Both interceptions have been on, quite honestly, atrociously thrown balls.
Yeah.
And that is a big turnover to negate the one we just saw.
Well, Cirillo, there's one of 2 things that he's doing in his passing motion. He's either throwing the ball flat-handed where you turn your wrist over and you throw kind of a palm ball, or his index finger's up too far on the point of the ball. And when you do that, Greg, it makes the ball go nose down. Cirillo's bad passes have all been nose down. You notice that? When you're throwing the ball well, the nose is up, not down.
Yeah, he almost averted the first interception because the ball was wobbling so much, but he had a hard time catching it. But that one was like right at
You're absolutely right.
Lawrence Austin. And right back, first down on the 40. The defense made a big play, maybe get a little bit of a breather, and now they're right back out. That's psychologically tough. Dupreme Robinson making the tackle on Stewart after a 4-yard gain.
I'll tell you, number 6, I just keep feeding him the ball, Greg. It's just going to happen. He's just going to, you can see it. He's just a one tackle away from breaking into the secondary. Just keep feeding him the ball, and Jimmy Deere is such a great coach here. He knows that. Just feed him the ball. He puts so much pressure on the defense to tackle him constantly.
Dupreme Robinson's nickname's got to be Supreme, right?
I like that.
And he looked supreme on that play. There's a swing pass out to McGaw, anxious to make amends for that earlier play, and he motors his way to the 27 for the first down. He probably felt better than anyone else in this stadium after that ball was intercepted.
And he did a great job. But watch the block on the outside. Watch the block out in the corner. That's a great block. That's a baseball block where you're not physical with them. You're just walling them off, and that's a great block.
And he did not hold him. Some officials, they'll throw the flag at the drop of a hat on a play like that.
Terrific block on the outside.
1st and 10 on the 26. That's Stanley Jean-Pierre making that block. Pass, caught, touchdown! Cal Raker, who earlier had made a big catch that they negated, this time comes back, and this one will definitely stand.
Well, what happens on this play, you make the fake to Stewart. Did you see the fake to Stewart? The linebackers come up, the safeties walk up because they're afraid of Emmanuel Stewart, and then you throw over the top of the tight end for a touchdown. Great throw, great catch.
4 white jerseys surrounding Raker, but no one close enough to get a hand on the ball. And he takes it in uncontested. And that play-action fake really seemed to freeze the entire defense, and that's why he was so wide open behind the secondary. Kick is up and good. 7:52 to go in the first half, and Adrian goes up 14-0.
It's on. Can you speak into it?
Testing.
We're good. Cool.
We're good.
Thank you.
Yeah, 14-0. Adrian leading with 7:52 to go here in the first half. And Buffalo State really hurt themselves with that interception after they had gotten a big break. Their defense came through for them, and then they were put right under pressure again. Kickoff is fielded. No, it's not fielded. It's in the end zone. That's the second time they were about ready to return a kick, and the ball scooted away. And we've got another one of our Adrian College communications students down on the sidelines. Let's go to Hunter Hefner.
Thanks, Greg. I'm here with Paige Coverly, student scholar athlete of the game. Now, Paige, what exactly does it take to be the student scholar of the game?
Well, I think the main thing is just time management. You really have to be able to balance classes, extracurriculars, and I'm in a sport as well. So it's just making sure you have enough time.
All right, thank you. What started your journey here at Adrian College?
I actually was family friends with Dean Milner. This is before she was the dean. And she said, come on, take a look. And I just fell in love with the small campus.
Awesome. Now, what is your favorite part about Adrian College?
I really think just closeness you get with professors and how well you get to meet people. I am really close with a lot of my professors, and that's opened many doors for me.
Back to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That pass was caught out of bounds.
Awesome.
And you just hear unanimous acclaim from those that experience the campus life here, how much they enjoy it, how valuable it is to them in every respect, academically and just in terms of getting involved with activities.
Greg, it's a tremendous place. I had the privilege to coach here for a number of years. My daughter went here, and I'm telling you, it's just the people, the teachers and the administrators and the coaches really care about their kids. It's a special place.
Play action, deep pass, and that'll be interference, no doubt about that.
That's an easy call. Everybody in the stands could make that one. He ran right over the back of him. They had a deep post, and he kind of just ran over the back of him.
It was unfortunate, too, because he was blanketed by 2 men. It's doubtful that that ball would have been able to be threaded just so to result in a completion. Somewhat of an unnecessary penalty. But nonetheless, it was obvious.
We had 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, illegal use of the hands of the face. Defense, offense, correction, number 79. We got pass interference. Defense was clearly offset.
Wow.
Well, you heard that.
That's a break. That's a break for Adrian College, offsetting penalties.
Both teams have made some lapses, mental lapses at times, and personal fouls that have hurt them on plays that would have been really helpful to their respective causes. So instead of a big gain, they're right back deep in their own territory.
Coach Boy's a great coach at Buffalo State, 25 years, and those are the kind of mistakes that as a coach gets you up on your roof about 2 o'clock in the morning, wrapped in tinfoil, thinking about jumping.
He arrived at Buffalo during the glory days of the Bills.
Yeah, exactly. Those kind of mistakes drive you nuts as a coach.
25 years, he would have arrived at 93, right about the time when Kay Gunn and the Bills were regularly making and not winning Super Bowls. Big defensive play. 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle by Brad Pfister. And he definitely applied the iron fist on that one.
Well, they tried to do a little draw, Greg, but the Adrian Bulldogs really weren't buying it.
93, that was the year of that big comeback, right?
Yeah.
And they were down 35-3 in the playoffs, and Frank Reich brought them back.
Yeah.
It's the year that Coach Boys arrived in Buffalo.
Biggest comeback in the history of pro football in a playoff game.
Wonder if he was at that game. 3rd and 14 from the 21. If he was, it might encourage his guys here if they get any further behind today. Penalty flag goes here.
Wait, somebody...
But a lot of these false starts.
And I think the clock ran out on him, Greg, I think. And that can't happen. You know, because you look at the clock on the scoreboard, you know how much time you have to get the play off. That really can't happen, especially with an experienced quarterback.
I should say there have been a lot of miscues at the line of scrimmage, let's say.
There have been a lot, no question.
3rd and 19. Handoff. Tonic has just not been able to follow suit. The success that Martin Bailey has had, they are on to him, and they have been ever since the game began, as you see that tackle is made by Cowie Cooper, a 5'7", 260-pound sophomore.
44 Tonic's going to go into the locker room at halftime, Greg, and he's going to say, hey, what's going on? My number's called, and nobody's blocking.
Yeah, we used up all our energy blocking for the other guy.
Yeah, Bailey's getting good, getting some seams, but Tonic's getting nothing.
Hunt from the 15. Just got it away. Could be a decent return, but the coverage is right there. Can he turn the corner? Up the field goes Tate Honeycutt, and he does have a good return out to the 40 or 41-yard line of Buffalo State. And for a moment, it looked like he was going to be angled off, but he just beat them to the outside.
Credit Honeycutt, because he had to run a long way, Greg. He had to traverse the entire side of the field to get to the edge. Look at how far he has to run to get to the edge, and then up he goes. He finally turned the corner.
Well, it looked like it was going to be one of those where he runs 30 yards to gain more.
Right. Good camera shot by our gang, as always.
Turned out he ran 50 yards to gain 20. First and 10 from the 48. This could be an important drive if they could really consolidate this lead. Fake, a very good one by Wurzel. Not going to get it out deep enough, but look at McGaw readjust and come out with the ball inside the 10-yard line.
Greg, there were two great things that happened on that play. Wurzer got outside. It was a go route to McGaw on the sideline. Somebody got in Wurzer's face right there. He still steps up and makes the throw. Now watch McGaw. He takes away the inside on the route. Once you take the inside on the route, you got a perfect opportunity to make the catch. That's a veteran move by McGaw, taking away the inside on the route. It was a go route. He adjusted the route to a post route and took the inside. And Wurzer took a shot, Greg, took the shot and still stood up and threw the football.
He was well covered, but the back had no idea where the ball was. And now it's first and goal from the 9 after a spectacular play. Handoff, and there goes Colton Randall. Colton on his horse gets inside the 5.
Well, and, Randall, they've got a little bit of that thunder and lightning thing going, Randall's a bigger back and a little bit slower, but he's the thunder, and Emmanuel Stewart's the lightning. So it gives them kind of a nice change-up. Well, it's a great play by McGaw. He adjusted to the route. Greg, it was a go route in the sideline. It ended up being a post throw. He moved his body back inside of the post, and Wurzer took a hit, and he stayed in there and stood up and threw it.
McGaw's a great possession receiver, but he shows he can make some spectacular plays too. Fake handoff, pass, and again on that slant to the end zone, this time from right to left.
Yeah,
they go to McGaw for another score.
It's the same play they ran earlier, Greg. It's a drive slant. The error for Buffalo State is you must take away the inside. You cannot give the inside away. Make them throw a fade. You have a chance to try and defend that. You cannot defend the drive slant if you're on the outside of it as a defender. You got to take the inside away. That's just a fundamental. I mean, that's just a fundamental misalignment for the Buffalo State defensive back.
Combined with perfect execution on both of those touchdowns. And it's 20-0. And now it is 21-0. And he's going to have to be talking to him about Frank Reich in the second half if this keeps up. 21-0. Adrian leading Buffalo State. .4:19 to go, and the lead is mounted to 21-0. This time they're going to go short with the kickoff. And they almost came onto the ball and recovered it. In fact, I'm still not sure they haven't. Perfectly placed kick. They did recover it.
Yeah,
Number
real quick.
29. That is, wow, Sean Triggy.
If it's popped up like that, you can come up and make a fair catch, which should have been done. They'd had the ball right there, but you can't be indecisive. He was indecisive.
Let's take a look here at the touchdown once again.
This is a misalignment by the defensive back. It's a drive slant. The defensive back has to line up on the inside. Great shot by our people. He's got to line up on the inside, Greg. You have to think, where can they beat me quicker? First, drive slant. Then you make them throw fade.
3 plays, 48 yards. McGaw made that sensational adjustment on the long pass. On that last one, there's 2:29. Sean Triggy and Austin Atherton. I'm assuming the place kicker didn't recover that, but who knows? Into the end zone, and the ball came up short.
Now,
and broken up in the end zone by number 20, Obi Nagu.
McGaw ran a corner route there. He was open for a touchdown. Wurzer just didn't throw soon enough. If he gets it up a count sooner with a little air on it, this is a touchdown. So he's got to throw now. It's a count late. See how he's hesitated? It's a count late. This is a touchdown.
That was definitely a touchdown.
Yep.
He was well behind the defenders.
Just a count sooner and a little air, and you got 6.
Hey, it's a freshman in his first game. He's doing very well.
He has
okay?
played.
There's a few things you can
super.
learn from, but
He has played super, no question about it.
And he'll have that down, I'm sure, in the very near future. 2nd and 10 with the ball on the 32. Fake to Stewart, slant, caught. And they pick up 8 yards on the play as they go to Clarence Madison. And this is the thing, too. It's the last year of Emmanuel Stewart. They've got to start thinking about life after Emmanuel, I guess.
Right.
Developing some new weapons, and it looks like they've got some.
Well, but you said it well, Greg, when you said fake to Stewart. You know, how many times they fake to Stewart and it pulls up 2 linebackers, a safety walks up, and other people are open. You have to respect that guy that much, and sometimes people don't understand that he's just faking into the line and they think, oh, well, but it changes the way you play defense.
It'll be life after McGaw, too. We're seeing these 2 seniors we talked about in the open put on great display. Sometimes Stewart does it even when the ball doesn't go to him. Wurzel got away from the rush, but now he's running for his life and is hit out of bounds. Some of the Adrian players taking exception to that shot, and the flag is thrown, and perhaps because of that.
I think there's going to be a hold before then on Adrian. Either that or a bad block in the back, but I think it's going to be on Adrian.
Well, anytime you see a quarterback take a hit after he's out of bounds, you figure it's going to be called, but this will be a hold.
Yeah, they didn't call. The official was right there. He didn't think it was. Watch this. Wurzer does a good job. He sees the pressure coming, see him get away. All right, nice. He's trying to extend the play, looking for somebody downfield. Can't find anybody. And you know,
I'd
really
called that.
That's out of bounds. That's late. That should have been called. That was deep into the sideline. That one should have been called.
Doing that right in front of the quarterback's teammates like that is treacherous.
Officials have done a good job today, but they missed that, and they're human. That happens, but that should have been called.
Inside of 5. Inside of 5.
With that holding penalty, the ball is back to the 39. 3rd and 17. Buffalo State fortunate that they didn't shoot themselves in the foot again with a personal foul. Play action. Again, they're going deep. He's got McGaw all wrapped up, but he came down with the ball again. The receivers, the defenders are saying no, but it will be a touchdown. Unbelievable display again by Jaron McGaw.
Well, credit the freshman quarterback for Adrian. Wurzer got it out there. He put a lot on it. What McGaw does again, see him take the inside, wait, right there. He took the inside again, timed his jump perfectly, went up to get the ball at its high point. Those are all just critical fundamentals for a great wide receiver.
Lohan Tucker, you could almost read his mind. He's saying he's not going to get this one off of me, and yet he still came down with it. And all they could do was plaintively signal that he dropped the ball, but he did not. And the kick is up and good. Jaron McGaw showing that he is one of the top Division III receivers in the country in this game. It's 28-0 for Adrian. what is shaping up as one of the best individual receiver performances that you're ever going to see. 28-0 Adrian. Kick return from the 10-yard line. A good move. Getting away out to the 42-yard line. Goes Jordan Everett. Flag goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad block, I think, on Buffalo State. But, Greg, we were talking off air. It might be worth putting on air that, McGaw was covered. He had two people on him. And it's not like he wasn't covered. He had double coverage. But sometimes you have a receiver that's as good as McGaw. You know what? You put it up there. He belies coverage. He's better than the people covering him. So what you do is you put it up, Greg, and you say, my guy's better. He's going to make a play. And McGaw did.
Put this on the air too. Buffalo State, again, a very costly mistake if this goes against them. A good return, give them excellent field position, but a late flag here. And the officials conferring. But it actually goes on Adrian.
Following the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct.
But there is your
terrible mistake by Buffalo State.
Yeah, you're going to be offsetting there. Somebody, basically that translated, somebody's giving somebody the business after the play. Take a look here. It's a good return. See what happens after the play here. What went on there? Yeah, there it is right there. See the little pushing and shoving after the play. I mean, that's not smart. It's 10 yards behind the play. The play's done. Forget the pushing and shoving deal.
How many times does something like that have to happen before they maybe smarten up?
And you're 10 yards behind the play. You've already had a successful play. Why would you want to do anything different than the pushing and shoving stuff? Just never works out too well.
So this is interesting.
Yeah, but they go back forth.
They counted the yardage, and then they're going to end up with a net loss. And they will set it down, it appears, on the 37. So rather than offsetting, they actually applied the penalties, but the penalty against Buffalo was the bigger one. Still have decent field position. But it could have been very good, because if they'd attacked on that block in the back to the good return, they'd be in Adrian territory.
That's exactly right.
So let's see if they can come up with anything here in the latter stages of this first half. Back to Bailey. And look at his hard running as he managed to slice off one tackler. He bounced off of Danny White before finally Tim McPhee was able to bring him down. He got a couple of yards when it looked like there was nothing.
2-4 for Buffalo State's a really good back, but what Adrian is doing defensively is they're making Buffalo State one-dimensional. They're not really having great success running the football, and I don't know that they're a great passing team. Cirillo's thrown a couple good balls, and he's thrown a couple of really bad balls, so I don't know if they're a great passing team.
Snap back, throw downfield, caught.
Now that was a nice throw by Cirillo. That was a turn-in pattern. He put it in the right place where only his guy could get it. That had good coverage. The Adrian defensive back was right there. So that was a really nice throw and a little deep turn-in.
Jordan Everett making the grab. He had 16 career receptions entering this year. He had 5, they said, 153 yards last week at a touchdown, and there's another good touchdown, or not a touchdown, but reception. He had a good return off the kickoff. He's a very versatile all-purpose player. Hand off, Tonic again, and this time he makes some decent yardage as he bulls forward for 5
Tonic
on first down.
He said it's about time you give me a little seam to run in. He hasn't had anything all day. I can see for Buffalo State a banner up in the stands. We've got Tonic and you don't. Tonic's a big guy, but he just has had no room to run the football.
Timeout with 1:11 to go, and Buffalo State trying to get on the board before the end of the half. Handoff and back to the status quo for Tonic. He had nothing there.
Well, you know, he's got ability, and he's kind of a big guy. But one problem is, Greg, he's a kind of a totem pole runner. He runs straight up and down, and that gives the defense a pretty nice target on him.
3rd and 4. That pass will be incomplete.
Now that time he had a really good look at Cirillo's release. What he's doing is he's flat-handing the ball. When you throw the ball as a quarterback, your wrist needs to be on top. What he's doing is turning his wrist over and palming the ball. That's what causes the ball not to go accurately. It causes it to go nose down. It just doesn't give you a good passing release. He needs to get on top of the ball. He needs to have his wrist on top.
4th down and 4 from the 42. Rolling out to the right. And that pass is caught by Jamar Rutledge.
Rutledge did a great job. He took his body. It was a low throw. He took his body down with the ball to make the catch. Good. That was a good job by Rutledge.
And 33.3 seconds remaining. And while they talk things over, we'll remind you, exclusive content, live games, more coverage than ever before. BCSN Now gives you access to content you won't find anywhere else. Stay up to date with your favorite teams and never miss a game with BCSN Now. Stream on. We've done that, especially with the football season, getting some content that you would not have seen in past years and is going to be the trend of the future.
I kind of like the Stream On tagline. I don't know if we talked to Steven Tyler at all, but
I've been wanting to take the credit for that ever since I saw it for the first time.
I like it. Steven Tyler might want some residuals on that. Dream on,
yeah,
stream on. But
10 years you'd said, I'd want all this, and you would have said, dream on.
Yeah. It's a cool tagline.
Yeah, hit single coming out. Maybe you can wrap it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Yeah, I'm in.
1st and 10 from the 35. 36 seconds to go. Fade route on the right sideline, no good. I was going to say, judging by Buffalo State's field goal kicking performance, hopefully that was an anomaly.
Yeah,
but they need a touchdown right here.
It just wasn't an accurate throw on the fade route. And again, Cirillo he palms the ball, he turns his wrist over, and with your wrist on top, you drive the football, you control the football. When you flip your wrist over and palm it, you have a lot less control of the football.
That's not caught. That was very well timed. And Jamar Rutledge has it inside the 20. They're in the red zone.
The Buffalo State staff should show Cirillo that pass. His wrist was on top. It was crisp. It was a good release. It was compact. Good passing arc. That was a nice throw.
Hustling back up to the line. And he spikes it.
You can't spike from a shotgun, can you? You can't spike from a shotgun.
Yeah, we'll buy them a little time to plot their strategy.
I think possibly we should wrap that song out, Greg. I figure you get you, me, and Denny Robidoux, and we wrap out a Stream On. I think it could be something.
Yeah, and since you're becoming an expert dancer, you could choreograph it.
Yeah, I'm a dancer, all right. I move like a melting glacier.
2nd and 10 from the 17. Again, pressure from both edges. Swings it out, caught. And a short gain by Everett. He's not able to get out of bounds. But the clock does stop at 16.1 seconds to go as they take one of their timeouts. That's their last one. With 3rd down and 8, and as we said, judging up by that last field goal attempt, they need to go for the end zone, and a field goal won't help them that much with the scoring that it is right now anyway.
3 doesn't mean much to you when you're down 28, but you've got 2 opportunities with 16.1 on the clock. to throw into the end zone. You throw into the end zone twice. You throw a fade, you throw a drive slant, but both of them have to go into the end zone. Don't throw it short. Throw into the end zone.
Buffalo State has had a very strong team in recent years. They've had 7 consecutive winning seasons, and back in the 90s, during the heyday of the Buffalo Bills we were talking about in that Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas era, they made the NCAA, won their division 7 years in a row, and made 7 NCAA appearances during that time, and had a 78-28 overall record between 91 and 2000. So they look like they're a team on the upswing, but they have had their troubles today. Let's see what they can do on 3rd and 8.
Quarterback can't take a sack at all, Greg. They've got to get the ball out of his hands quickly, throw a fade, get into the end zone.
They're coming after him. The pass is behind him, caught. Did he get over the goal line?
Yeah.
Yes, the arms come up.
Great play, good throw, middle seam route. They threw into the end zone, just barely. But
there was behind the receiver. He had to make a nice adjustment here, but at least he got it to where it was catchable. And then he managed to get over the goal line.
Yep, it's a good play. And that'll mean a lot to Buffalo State going into the locker room to get on the board. It gives them some opportunity to come back in the second half.
Jamar Rutledge with an outstanding play. The catch, knowing he was going to take a shot, and still got over the goal line. Let's see if they get a better kick here. That's more like it. And the extra point is good. So with 10.5 seconds left in the first half, it's now 28-7, Adrian. Buffalo State gets on the board. Kickoff. And it is fielded on the 5, and I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like he was running it back, and then he came down on his ankle wrong, and I guess they allowed him to call the, no, they did not give him a fair catch, so they're down on the 5-yard line. It's not really going to be that detrimental with only 8.6 seconds remaining. Unless he took a knee, it didn't appear to me that that was the idea, but at any rate, they're just going to use the victory formation a little early, and that will take care of the first half. And the Adrian Bulldogs, I don't know if dominate is the right word. They made a couple of really big plays. They had a tremendously efficient half of play by their freshman quarterback, and some big mistakes by Buffalo State. And I think you add all those things together, you get 28-7 Adrian.
Well, I think dominate does work, Greg, especially in the pass game. McGaw has been dominant as a wide receiver. He has really beaten everybody that's been over the top of him for Buffalo State. Buffalo State has not had an answer for them. And the freshman quarterback, Worcer's done a great job for the Bulldogs.
All right, let's go down to Rick Poland with Coach Deere.
Thanks, Greg. Coach, that last touchdown there, notwithstanding, pretty good first half.
Yeah, but it's disappointing to end like that. We try to run our defense to not give them up touchdown, just make them kick a field goal. that would have been great. But we got to be more aggressive in those situations as far as secondary play. We can't let guys catch the ball in front of us and score touchdowns.
Well, up to that point, special teams, offense, defense, everything seemed to click for you.
Yeah, it's been a good half, but it's only a half. We got a long way to go.
Okay, good luck in that second half, Coach. Thanks. Back to you guys.
You see the coach. Got to be pleased, but not overly so, especially with that late touchdown. 28-7, Adrian leading, and we'll be right back with halftime.
Tom Cole for Adrian College Football on BCSN, and I'll tell you the truth, it's always one of my favorite times I get to talk to an incredible college president, Dr. Docking. Doc, we've been doing this for a long time. You said 14 years?
14 years, man. I can't believe it's been that long, but my birthday's tomorrow. I'll be 58, so that means I started at 44, and it's been a great 14 years, you know, just an amazing school, and I feel honored to be here during a part of its tenure.
Doc, you're looking 37, and I'll tell you what, I really have a theory on this, Doc, and I get you to comment. You know, you're the Dorian Gray of this place. I think you have a picture at home in a closet that's aging someplace because you don't. And my theory, Doc, is this, is I think when you're around a college campus, around young people, their youthfulness, their ideas, their energy, Doc, I think it keeps you young.
I couldn't agree more. You know, it's always amazing to me how being around this age, like you said, there's an energy, there's a youthfulness, there's a nomenclature. It keeps you up with what's important to them, and especially with social media and all the stuff now in millennials, you can really read about it, see it. I joined Facebook, not that I need to be on Facebook, but just so I can be in that game and see what's important to them. And I will tell you, this is a great generation. And this country is going to be in good shape when these people go on and become our leaders. These are good kids who care about education, care about each other.
Doc, I'm so glad you said that because people want a hopeful message for the future, and that is that. And that's what America really is about, hopefulness. And Doc, you know, I've had the privilege, you've let me coach football here, let me broadcast here with my partner Greg Franke, and it's been a remarkable experience. My daughter went here, double major, graduated in 3 years. And she said it's the most remarkable experience she's had for her professional advancement in life, and she's a chief prosecutor in Sylvania. Doc, there are 34 high schools out here in this viewing area watching your game today. We're going to watch your interview, moms, dads, grandfathers, grandmothers, students. Why Adrian, Doc? Give them the why Adrian.
Well, let me start out by saying your daughter is one of my favorite alums, and if our alums turn out like her, we're all in good shape. But, you know, it really begins in the classroom. And, you know, you can stick 400 kids in a class, or you can stick 14 or 24, and we're in the 14 to 24 range. And, you know, when they get to know professors, when they're surrounded by people that care about them, want to help them figure out their future, to figure out the job that they will love every morning to go to work and do, that's what these years should be about, self-discovery and getting yourself set professionally. And so that's where it begins. But then, of course, outside the classroom, it's so easy to get involved. You got 44 sports here. You've got student newspapers, student government, band. You got it all. And so this is 4 years to be a leader, to try new things, to understand what's going on beyond college, and to learn about yourself. And I think we do a really good job here of doing that in these small, private, liberal arts colleges.
Doc, nobody understands more that facilities are important to young people. The metamorphosis of the change at Adrian College that you've made and your staff is truly remarkable. We're standing on a new change. Talk about it, Doc.
Yeah, new field. You know, safety is a big deal for us. I'm heavily involved with the NCAA right now. I'm the chairman of Division III, and so we paid a little bit more to have almost like a Brillo pad put underneath the grass that people see, so it's softer, it's cleaner, it's better, it'll maintain better, and of course it pops when you walk in the stadium. So we want the kids to be proud of where they go. We want their parents to feel like they've got a first-class facility. So whether it's our ice arena or tennis courts or baseball field or football stadium, we feel like we try to give them a really a great set of facilities.
Doc, one of my most favorite things during the football season is chatting with you. An innovative leader. Keep up the great work, Doc.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. All right, Tom.
Tom Cole for Adrian College football, and certainly great to talk to an outstanding young student athlete, Lawrence Austin for the Adrian College Bulldogs. Lawrence, you're a captain. You know, captain. When somebody tells me they're a captain on a football team, immediate things come to my mind. Quality guy, leader, does the right things on the field, in the campus, in the school, represents the community. That's what captains are. How does that make you feel?
It's a good feeling to be voted on from your teammates, from the coaches, just to be picked, to even, you know, to be considered is a big thing, but to be picked, I mean, it's huge. It makes you want to do the right things, you know, on the field, off the field. It makes you just want to, you know, carry yourself a certain way so that the players know, your teammates know that this is the way we do things around here. You know, as a senior, you want the young guys to see this and know, okay, this is the way that Adrian College is supposed to be, you know, represented.
Lawrence is a star outside linebacker. You know, a lot is asked of an outside linebacker in the game of football today. I'm telling you, you know, you do it every day. You know, you got to track down speed guys on the outside. Sometimes you got to rush the quarterback. You got to be a great cover guy because everybody, you know, throws it in a lot of different ways. What's the fun part of the game for you?
I think the fun part is knowing that you have to be able to do those things. You know, it's, you know, play in and play out. Everybody's going to expect you to be able, like you said, to tackle, to be able to cover, to have the speed, to, you know, be smart enough to know, read certain things. I think that's the most fun part, to know that that's what the guys are expecting of you, and if you can answer that call, you know, play in and play out, that's the best part of it all, honestly.
Lawrence, people in the stands, and they're great, but they don't understand some of the insights of the game, how much film you have to watch, because you're really, you know, you're a quarterback of the defense, right? When they come out in an exotic formation or an odd formation, it's something you, hopefully you've seen on film, and then you can tell the other guys, hey, look, you know, they're going to run a go route, a fade, they're going to run off tackle, but there's a lot of time in the film room.
Right, oh yeah, for sure. When you're watching film, I mean, we watch it as a team on Mondays, and then I think again on Thursdays, but throughout the week, that's huge. I mean, to that's half the battle right there. You know, physically, you want to be able to run fast, jump high, tackle hard, and all that. But mentally, if you have no idea what's going on, you're going to lose every play. I don't care how athletic you are, how great you are. Film, that's huge. I think our whole team, especially defensively, we take that mindset that, you know, if we're going to be the defense that we want to be, we got to watch film. We got to be able to study and know what's going to happen, play in and play out.
Lawrence, I can tell that you are enjoying your time as a captain of the Adrian College football team. You're enjoying your time at the university. What has this experience in totality meant to you?
It's been great. I transferred here, so it's been a great experience for me just to be accepted in. You know, I've been to 2 other schools and it didn't feel like this one. You know, just to be accepted in by the coaches, by the teammates, to have this opportunity to be a captain. I couldn't have saw it when I first came in. I wouldn't have expected that this was going to go like this. So it's been great just to be accepted in, to be, you know, trusted, and to be able to come in and show what I can do for the program and for the whole school. You know.
Big guy, your major. Want to tell the folks what you're majoring in here?
Communications.
You're gonna. Hey,
oh yeah.
You're better right now in the interview than I am in my job after 30 years. So you're gonna be great. Come look us up when you're ready to go. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, big man. Protect yourself out there today.
Yes,
have a great game. Congratulations on a wonderful career here.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, sir. Tom Cole for BCSN and Adrian College Football. Hi, Tom Cole for BCSN and Adrian College Football, and it's always really, truly an honor for me to speak to Jimmy Deere, who's the outstanding head football coach at Adrian, championship coach 2012, 2014. Jimmy, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. You know, I admire you, the way you coach, the way you work with kids, and kids beyond football. You care about the kids, you know, intrinsically beyond the game of football. But the Deere package for winning championships to me has always been solid fundamental defense. You can pound the ball, run it really well between the tackles, and then when people crowd the box, you throw over the top. What's the team look like this year, Jimmy?
Yeah, you're exactly right on keys to success. You got to play great defense. You got to be able to control the clock, and obviously running the football is a major part of that. And then if they start putting too many guys in the box, you got to have the ability to stretch them vertically. So our recipe never changes. That's kind of who I am and how I coach, and I don't make any bones about it. That's how we're going to win.
You know, Jimmy, a lot of people watch football in the stands, and they're great. You know, they eat hot dogs and drink Pepsis, and they watch on TV, and they kind of think they know the game, but a lot of times they don't have the insight. You want to control the ball. I mean, you know, you want to move the chains. You want to eat clock, because the other teams have star quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. And as far as I know, I'm not that smart, Jimmy, but if they're sitting on the bench, they ain't scoring on you, right?
That's the best defense, we always say, is when your offense is on the field. So, yeah, you need to be able to do that. And then obviously it becomes, you know, when you get in the red zone, you got to be real efficient if you're not going to get that many possessions. So it's efficiency in the red zone, controlling the clock, and then when you have to, on third downs, getting off the field defensively.
Jimmy, every team has a different personality every year. You know that. You've been so successful. You've done this. No one team is the same year, and it changes. Give me the climate, the temperature, the personality of your club this year.
Well, you know, I hate to jinx it, but they're probably one of the most disciplined teams I've had all through camp. We get up early and we do roll call and this and that, and only a handful of guys late over about a 21-day period. And you know, we don't have those issues this year. In years past, there's been some things that, you know, you kind of question question their discipline. The one thing about this team, and that's 160 guys, that's what I don't question their discipline. So they've been good and fun to work with, and hopefully things will start going our way. That's what I tell them. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right things. Good fortune will come to you.
Jimmy, I always admire the way you approach the game, the way that you handle the kids, the way that you care about the kids. Adrian College is extremely lucky to have you. We're lucky to have you on BCSN. Good luck today, Coach. All right, thanks, Jim. Tom Cole for BCSN and Adrian College.
Teams back on the field here. Still some time to go before the second half gets underway, so let's take a look at some first half highlights. Adrian leading 28-7. Both teams had their moments, but Adrian made the most out of theirs, and Buffalo State some really key mistakes. There's that wobbler that was so bad that McPhee almost lost the ball, but when he got it, he made a good return. They set him up for an initial touchdown here. This was the first of two mirror-like plays, one from the left, one from the right to Jaron McGaw.
Yeah, drive slants. Wurzer, the freshman quarterback, nice throw.
And here's another bad interception right after they had recovered a fumble. McGaw had the ball stripped away as he was trying to get extra yardage. They come with that pass over the top. That brought in by Cal Raker.
Big tight end. You fake the Emmanuel Stewart. You pull the linebackers up. You throw over the top of them in front of the safety.
Now here is a tremendous catch. Well, we just didn't quite see that to the end, but that was the one that he cut back to the inside, did McGaw.
Here
we get a look at it right here.
See him go up and get the ball. He's double covered, bracket coverage. He goes up and gets the ball at its high point. McGaw is better. He's really better than anybody that Buffalo State can put on him.
They got this late touchdown just behind the receiver. He spun. Rutledge made the catch, knew it was going to be hit. Still got over the goal line for the score. And there's a look at the overall numbers, and Adrian, definitely a quick glance at it. You can see that they quite likely have the edge, although the first downs are pretty close.
Well, I know Jimmy Deere is going to want the 44 yards rushing for the Adrian Bulldogs is not what Jimmy wants. I would look for them to come out in the second half and get a heavy dose of Emmanuel Stewart. But the freshman quarterback, 218 yards passing, debut for Adrian College, Wurzer, that's tremendous.
And when he's got a receiver making catches like that for him that McGaw had in the first half, that really helps him out. There's a look at the individual leaders. Wurzer's numbers are sensational. 4 touchdowns, 13 for 16, 218 yards. Look at McGaw.
Yeah, Greg, you said it. McGaw's been fantastic. 11 receptions, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. If I was Buffalo State, and you don't have to be a genius to understand this, I'd put a corner on him and bring a safety over the top. I'd put 2 people on McGaw. McGaw proves he can beat you, and have Adrian try and get somebody else to beat them, not McGaw.
Rio's numbers not bad, but you saw those 2 interceptions made you wince. And that's the score, 28-7 at half. Adrian leading Buffalo State. Ready for the second half. 28-7, Adrian leading, and they'll get the initial possession here to try to really recapture any of the momentum that they might have lost, giving up that late touchdown. And that kick is fielded. Look at this. You got to love this. He's going to bring it out. It gets to the point where even if they don't make a good return, I'm still happy just because.
Yeah, you're rooting for the kick returns. You are. You definitely are rooting for them. You know, Greg, I know Coach Deere pretty well, and Rick had a nice exit interview with him before the end of the first half. He truly was upset about that touchdown. He's a defensive guy, defensive coordinator. You don't give up a touchdown in that situation. So he wasn't happy about that. He probably took a little paint off the walls inside to his defense about that. And the other thing he's not happy about, 44 yards rushing with Emmanuel Stewart in the backfield. That isn't his game. He's going to want to run the football a little bit and kind of establish dominance in the front front line of the offensive run game.
Looks like they're lining up for a kickoff all over again. You'd hate to see an actual return get negated from the record books. Well, they're going to kick this one from the 30, so there's probably a decent chance we're going to see another return.
I like it. You're rooting for these returns. I'm kind of liking this.
That's my strongest rooting interest in every football game now.
You are rooting for returns. I love it.
Obviously, they're going to do this over because they didn't get a good return, and now the ball's going to be kicked from the 30. Comes up short, but he fields it on the 15. He can't help but return that one. And he's still on his feet out to the 34-yard line. And that is where Adrian will start. 7 seconds into the second half. And that was Colton Randall on the return. You think about it, especially if you get behind in a football game, if you take the kick returns off the table, that's one of the major ways that you can get a break, get some momentum, and get back in a game. So Adrian, as a result of that penalty and a decent return, have pretty good field position for Jack Werzer, who had a tremendous first half of his college career. Handoff, and Stewart, they're able to contain him on first down.
Yeah, Jimmy Deere is just not going to be happy with that limited rushing yardage for Adrian. Normally at half, Adrian's got 150, 175 yards rushing, and 44 is not going to get it done for Jimmy. That's not his kind of offense. So look for him to really try to get a rhythm going in the run game.
30 yards for Stewart in the first half, 28 shy of the 4,000 mark, and there's two more, so now 26. And a flag flies here. It really seems fun. Doesn't it seem like every game we're here, Emmanuel Stewart is within range of breaking another record?
Well, he's a special back. Again, we talked about him as he's really an anomaly as a running back because he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he has an ability to run between the tackles, and then obviously his speed on the outside is incredible, and he's very good in the pass game. Not trying to put undue expectations on this young man, but I really feel that he could definitely, when his career is done at Adrian College, go to Canada and play in that level. The wide field would be great for him with his speed. He'd be terrific in the Canadian game.
I'm starting to think Jared McGaw might be too, after that amazing performance that he put on in the first half.
Well, sometimes you have a receiver out there that's just better than anybody on the field that's trying to cover him, and that's with McGaw. He's better than the people that Buffalo State are trying to cover him with.
And there's a slant. That one is caught. And another good gain. That's the second time we've seen them go to Clarence Madison with good effect. And that will be Now 3rd down and 10 to go. And we're joined here by Vice President of Enrollment and Student Affairs and Assistant Coach Frank Rebar. And good to be with you again up here in the booth for Adrian College football.
We so much enjoy having you guys call these games. It brings so much excitement to campus, and so we're thrilled to be here too, and I'm glad we're up 28-7.
I thought it was time to bestow that coach title on you officially.
Well, Frank, I got to be very candid with you. Greg told me before you came up, if I have another one of my subpar performances up here, as good as you were the last couple of times, you got my job. So, I'm just being totally transparent with you at this time.
You guys are the pros. You're very, very gracious, but Tom, I hear you all the time when I'm up here, and you're the professor up here.
We have fun. You know what?
I yield to you, man.
How about your youngster playing quarterback for Adrian? Worser. Well, I mean, what a performance for a first start, right?
Yeah, I'm as excited about his poise as I am anything.
Absolutely.
Just nice pocket presence, and I was really curious how he would start. And then when I saw the seam route he threw for the touchdown, that was a big-time throw.
Yeah, he looked like a very experienced hand on that one. And the punt is fielded on the 36-yard line.
You know, Frank, Greg and I were talking on both those drive slants that McGaw caught. It was so odd to me. The defensive back for Buffalo State, who's on him, has to line up on the inside, because what you do as a defensive back, where can I get beat first? Where's the quickest strike? The quickest strike is the drive slant on the inside. So you line up on McGaw's inside, you take away the drive slant, okay, they can throw the fade, but at least you have a chance to recover and defend. Both times they gave McGaw the inside. It's like stealing, you know?
Yeah, well, you called it. I thought both those occasions he went and really got the ball.
Oh, man.
It was actually pretty well covered.
He did steal it on those 2 plays where he cut back to the inside on the long passes down the sideline. It really was stealing. And there's a pass incomplete intended for Paul Tonic.
And Jimmy Deere's defense, Frank, we talk about this a lot. You know, they basically shut down Buffalo State in a run game. Bailey's had a couple nice little runs and a swing out of the backfield, a couple of those little circle ins. But basically, they haven't run the ball well. If you make Buffalo State one-dimensional, the passing, they're not that good at throwing the football. I mean, they're okay, but not great.
Yeah, I think Jim understands the scheme really well. And I think really defensively we played a fantastic first half, but you alluded to the fact he was not happy with the way we finished, and that's just as important. So, he'll tighten them up. But, I like the way we've played in the middle so far.
Oh, you've cut the A and B gap between the guards and tackles. Frank, that's a great observation. You've shut it down. There's nothing inside.
Tonic had to go outside to finally get some.
Tonic's taking some hits today. He's going to need some tonic when this is over. He's taking some shots.
There's nothing up the middle. I'm going to go around the end.
No.
3rd and 2. Now he's going to try it.
Tonic got racked again.
Same story. Thought maybe he softened it up a little bit by going around end, but no, sir.
He's a talented kid, guys, 44. But whoever his offensive backfield coach is, he runs straight up and down. He's a totem pole runner, and you got to drop your shoulder a little bit because they just get great shots on him.
Yeah, it's a big physical guy.
Yeah, but he's a straight up and down guy, and you got to drop your shoulder and get a little leverage sometimes.
4th and 1. They really need to go for this. Even though it's early in the 3rd quarter. That's not going to get it. No, he got it on the second effort.
I don't know, Greg.
Still, it's hard to say whether he made it. He had no drive upon receiving the ball. His momentum almost was stopped.
Greg and Frank, this is the John Madden thing. Left foot spot or right foot spot. It's going to be the difference of where they... I couldn't see it. He may have given him a good spot there.
Yeah, he did.
He gave him a good spot.
I was going to say, the players weren't helping with all the dark shirted guys pointing one way and the whites the other.
It's a straight zero smash right over the center. Greg, you're right. That little extra inertia at the end got him the first down.
It seemed to be mistimed. When he received the ball, he had no forward momentum going whatsoever. I thought he was simply going to be snowed under.
Tonic's taking some hits today, I'm telling you. He's taking some hits.
He did a good job to persevere and get that. Cirillo under pressure. Wheeling away. Now he's got some green in front of him, and he will settle for a 5-yard gain and go out of bounds. He played a decent first half, except for those 2 glaring mistakes that resulted in interceptions, and he handled this play well.
Yeah, it's good escapability. Sometimes as a quarterback you have to realize, Frank, when the play's not there, get what you can get, live to fight another day, get out of bounds.
Yeah, no doubt.
Katron Denson had good feet on him. A little overcast, but ideal conditions for this first home game. Back to throw, he's going deep, and most everything they've tried downfield has been 1-on-2, but a late flag here.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't blatantly obvious, but the Adrian defensive back put his hands on the receiver when he was running the deep post. He did have his hands on him, gave him a little bit of a push. It was very, very inconsequential. It could have been a no call. The officials are talking about it now. The field, the back judge saw it and he called the flag.
That ball was in no way a catchable ball, and whether or not there's a
they're going to talk it
rule
over
about it. To throw a flag on a play like that when the ball couldn't have been caught seems to be unnecessary.
Yeah, picking it up. That's great. You know what? That's a great crew. That, you know, you say, what did you see? Here's what I saw. I don't know if we get the end of it. It happened before the ball actually came down. He did have his hands on his back. Right there. There's his hands on him.
I'm not sure it wasn't 21 that they
both had hands on.
But the bottom line is the ball was 10 feet beyond him. Could have called 2 on that. If the ball had hit him in the hands, I think it would have been a very good call. Had it happened before the ball arrived. 3rd and 5, they get to him. How did they complete that? Wow, that was going end over end like crazy. Tarillo was hit just as he released the ball, and somehow it fluttered right to Kendrick Benson.
He threw what looked like an unidentified flying object here. It gets tipped. Watch it waffle out. It's going sideways. And sometimes in football, it's good to be lucky. You know,
a lot of plays that you very rarely see in this game. And there's another one of them. That was more wobbly than the interception.
Actually, one of the few plays we've gotten good pressure on.
Yeah, you did get good pressure.
Quarterback.
That's what happened on that bad pass earlier in the first half. Driving for the first down, but not quite getting it. The ball was complete to Jordan Hebert, but Lawrence Austin held on for dear life and kept him from getting the first down.
Well, Frank, Jimmy Deere, your great head coach, isn't going to like this drive. He doesn't want another team to hold the ball, eat the clock, while his offense is on the bench.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that's what he's concerned about going into halftime with that score. I mean, just giving them any kind of momentum at all is tough. I also think, despite the fact that they waved off the last flag, we've got some things to clean up on the defensive side.
No question.
We haven't played as disciplined as he'd like us to.
That has been a case for both teams, really, at times here. Tonic, he has had a tough afternoon.
I'm telling you, Tonic he's a good athlete, he's a good kid, but he is really taking some shots.
He got the first down, though.
He really has.
But, you know, Tom, to your point, he's a sort of an up and down runner.
Straight up, yeah.
A lot of body to hit there.
Yeah, we used to call them totem pole runners. They just run in the line straight up, and what happens is everybody gets a shot at your body, Frank. You know, they hit you like a totem pole. It's one after another.
He's a big target, that's for sure.
You got to kind of drop your shoulder a little bit so you don't take such a beating, you know.
A runner like that should come from Alaska. 1st and 10 from the 34. Another flag. These are the kind of things, too, for both teams, really. You talk about the discipline. There have been a lot of these types of calls, and there have been some personal fouls and things of that nature that need to be cleaned up by both teams.
Hey, I mean, it's playing out like an early season game.
Yes, Frank.
And there's some things that both have to work out. I feel really good defensively because we're starting some young guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we noted practically that entire interior line is freshmen.
Yeah. So you expect a little bit of this. But in terms of their assignments, they've done pretty well. Just kind of cleaning up some of the afterplay stuff.
Rolling left, Tarillo downfield. See, that was nowhere near anybody. There were 6 people there, and the ball wasn't near a single one of them.
I'm surprised that you know, as much film as they look at, and you watch a youngster. Tarillo has talent, but they don't fix that flaw. Frankie, a good quarterback keeps the wrist on top, and that gives you the action on the ball. he flips his wrist over and he palms the ball, which allows it to float. You control the ball with your wrist being on top. If you flop your wrist over, you have a lot less control on the football.
You just can't drive it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You can't drive the ball. That's what I was trying to say. See, that's why you're going to get my job.
That's a baseball term for me. That's right.
Play action, crossing pattern into traffic, and broken up.
Now,
good defensive play there by number 24, Sean Starks.
What's funny about Trillo is Greg and Frank, sometimes, now that time he had the wrist on top and he threw a nice ball. Watch how he drives it, says, boom! See how he steps up and drives it? Put it right in there. Other times he gets lazy and flips his wrist over and then the ball just, Greg's called it a couple times, it waffles out and just kind of goes out into the atmosphere.
Yeah, I definitely recognize a wobbler when I see one. Third down and 15. He really did thread the needle nicely on that pass.
And he had his wrist on top, Greg, and as Frank said, he drove the ball.
Late handoff to Tonic. I don't think he runs as hard as their other running back that we saw, Martin Bailey.
Bailey's
that's
tough.
a big difference between the two.
Bailey's tough. And if I was Buffalo State, I'd get Bailey more involved in the pass offense. He's good coming out of the backfield, swing passes, circle in, circle out, get him involved in the pass game.
They had some early success on
They did, Frank. A couple of times he looked good coming out of the backfield.
Bailey had 6 carries for 24 yards, 4 yards a crack, which is pretty good in that opening half. 4th and 9. They really need this. And the Adrian defense needs to step up. They fumble it. Flag went immediately, fortunately for Buffalo State.
Well, the reason he dropped the ball is he tried to take a peek and see what the defense was doing, and you still have to look at the ball even when you're in the pistol or the shotgun.
So now instead of 4th and 9, it's going to be a much more manageable 4th and 4.
And Frank, Coach Deere, he's not going to like that.
No.
That's going to be a film room problem, I'll tell you.
Back to your point about discipline. Real big play here now. Fake to Tonic. To the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! What a pass and catch.
Now,
Rutledge on the effort on the receiving end.
Skinny post, great fake. The fake brought the linebackers up. He threw in between the two safeties in cover 2, Greg and Frank. And to your point, Frank, his wrist was on top. What did he do with that football?
Yeah,
he drove it.
He zipped out.
A waffle ball in that situation is picked off going the other way. But he stepped up, transferred his weight like a golf shot, and drove the football in there. That was a great throw.
Now all of a sudden it's game on again. Stream on and game on. And the kick is up and good. All of a sudden, a game that was 28-0 is 28-14, and there's lots of time to go. 6:43 in the third. We'll be right back.
After this kickoff,
6:43 to go, third quarter, 28-14. And when you've had it your own way, and now all of a sudden it's a ball game again, we'll see how well Adrian's able to flip the switch and get it going again. Kick is through his hands. Again, it looked like they were ready to launch a return, but it got right through for a touchback. So let's go back to the sidelines, and Hunter Hefner is down there again.
Thanks, Greg. I'm here with Jody Prime, the head question coach at Adrian College. Now, Jody, for those who don't know Adrian College or people at Adrian College, what all goes into being the head equestrian coach, and what's the history of the equestrian team?
Well, thanks for asking. It is a very competitive sport. The horse world is a tight-knit community, and we seem to know each other from coast to coast, but a lot of hard work goes into it. The girls come out to the barn every day to practice, and then we travel quite a ways, sometimes 4 hours for competitions. But the history for Adrian College is the team's been in existence since 2009, but we're kind of a it's well-known secret, I guess. We got to get this out on to the world that we actually do have an equestrian team. Last year we had the whole team qualify for regionals. That's never happened. And then 5 went on to national semifinals, and 2 went on to the national finals, and 1 was top 8 rider in the country and asked to compete at the AQHA World Championship. So we are small but mighty.
What's your expectations for the team this year?
Oh, I'm very excited. We have a very new group of riders. We graduated 5 seniors last year. We have an incoming rider from South Africa. So excited. We have some returning seniors that really have stepped up and shown us great leadership. And I have some freshmen that have some great determination and some high goals. So we'll see. We're also in a new competitive region. We're going to be competing in south of the border. We're going to be down in Ohio. So we have some new big colleges to bump up against. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Good luck on your season. Back to you guys.
Wow. Greg and Frank, first of all, it's a great throw from your freshman quarterback in his first start. I'm telling you, that's a big-time college throw. When your guy has separation, you put it up there and enough air on it that he can use his speed to get there. But McGaw, guys, is better than anybody Buffalo State can put on him.
He made a couple of catches where he was blanking, and this time he got by the defense by 5 yards at least.
Yeah, great move. And, I was just going to mention that they threw the ball to Stewart out of the backfield. It might be stew time, but I guess we're just going to keep chucking it to McGaw and let him do it.
Got the hot hand. You might as well keep going with it. Kick is up and good. So from game on to put him back in their place. And it's 35-14 Adrian. 35-14 after another electrifying touchdown. Pass to Jared McGaw. Fielded at the 25 and out to the 34-yard line goes Everett. Doing some quick mathematics. Hopefully it's accurate. I've got Jared McGaw 846 yards away from becoming the all-time leading receiver in Adrian College history. And the way he's going today, he might have that by next week.
He's having a phenomenal game.
3 plays, 75 yards, 65 of them on that pass to McGaw. He's trying to catch Justin Hem, the #1 all-time receiver at 3,024 yards, 195 receptions. Reception-wise, McGaw came into this season needing 66 to pass Justin Hem. He passed Steve Kress just recently in terms of yardage, and he's just a couple of catches away from him for second in that department. See if Buffalo State can get it going again, and they had that pass out in front from the backfield.
Yep, a little circle in. Greg's an old Purdue pass, and it was there. If quarterback could have hit him, it was a big play. You know, guys, McGaw has run that go route on the sideline so effectively today. We've seen it 3 times. He outruns, some guys outrun coverage. McGaw is McGaw when they run the sideline route. Really, he belies the coverage. He just outruns the coverage, period.
Yeah. Our sports information department might steal that line. I like
It's yours. It's yours.
And again, circling out of the backfield is Tonic. He gets the ball this time. And maybe came out. I don't think I've been right once on saying whether they made the first down or not, so we'll just say it's going to be close. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and a yard.
Pretty astute call on your guys' part, too. I mean, they're listening to you because, and it's been effective now using the running backs in the passing game.
Yeah, those are tough to cover, Frank. I mean, the linebackers forget about them coming out of the backfield, and those are tough covers sometimes.
3rd and 1, probably less than a yard. And a good call there in that situation. He swings it out, lots of open space for Rutledge. And he gets to the 42-yard line. You know, if you're going to try a running play, you might as well do one to the outside instead of going where everybody's waiting for you.
You know, Frank and Greg, when Cirillo keeps his wrist on top, now that was a well-rhythmed throw, transfer of weight. Beautiful throw. Sometimes when he flips that wrist over and he throws the waffle ball out there, it's funny that they don't correct that error because he can throw the ball well when his mechanics are right.
Well, we said that sort of a pass is like a running play to the outside.
It is.
Very, very well that time. Down the field, a pump fake, and he almost got Everett behind. Lawrence Austin, but Austin covered well.
Frank, Greg and I were chatting before the ball game here. You interact with students here. What is it? Everybody seems to be having fun. They're enjoying their life. They're enjoying what they're doing. They feel good about the progress they're making toward a degree. It's not like that on every college campus. What is it that makes this part of Adrian so special?
Well, I think it's a couple things. One, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talk about it's a culture. It's a culture that you wrap around these are great young people, and they've got so much to look forward to. And then to be able to have faculty and staff who get it on that level, and you give them these kind of opportunities, and they just flourish. And so we've been really, really fortunate in that way. And we've just got a great set of students who get it, they understand, they appreciate what they have here.
Is it a record number of students for you this year?
Yeah, record recruiting class, record enrollment for us. That's great. You know, when you build on that sort of positive experience, it has that effect on students.
Last play, it's going to be 3rd down and 6. You got to talk about the new crew team here.
Oh yeah, the crew's great. You guys always have a new sport. Every game we come, there's a new sport. I love it.
It's up to 44 sports now.
It is up to 44. Yeah, you know, and that's to your point. It's just keeping us fresh, keeping us innovative, and the students feed off of that. You know,
it's like there's something for everybody, though, Frank. You know, you can sense that everybody can find their path, where they want to go, what their interest is. How cool is that as a young college student?
I'll tell you, I had a blast in the first quarter and the second quarter listening to our students do interviews.
They were great. You did a great job.
I commented to some colleagues, this is their playoff game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right,
it's their opportunity. So that, again, is keeping it fresh, keeping it exciting for all the students. That's what it's about. And it's a great age group to work with.
3rd and 11. Fake the pitch, but nobody went for it. Cirillo lost the ball, got it back, fires it downfield, and it would have been a first down, but it didn't quite cover enough distance. The catch was made by Kendrick Benson, but nonetheless, it'll put them in position for 4th down opportunity.
Guys, Cirillo did a great job there. He flirting with disaster. That could have really gone badly for him, and he was able to pick up the ball when it was dropped. Take a look at this.
I'm impressed that he could look downfield with all that going on.
Yeah, look at this. Knocked out of his hands, picks it up. You're right, Frank, and he was still able to find somebody downfield.
They want to redo a music video of that song. That would be a good thing to show.
Flirting with disaster.
4th down and 2. And he completes it, dumps it up the middle for a first down. as he got it once again, circling out of the backfield. Farouk Shitu with the catch, and they move the chains again.
Well, they tried that play a number of times, and that was pretty well covered, but they got enough to move the chains.
There's not much margin for error on fourth down, but they got the job done. Trying to make this a game again in the fourth quarter. Their offense definitely woke up for Buffalo State in the third, and really late in the second when they scored that late first half touchdown. Rutledge on the swing pass picks up 4 yards on first down. Again, he is stopped by Lawrence Austin, who's been very, you talked to him before the game. He's been very active in the field today.
Yeah, captain, communications major. We did the interview, and I've had 30 years in the business, Greg, and Frank, and he was better than I was in the interview. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, he was poised, he was great in the interview, and to your point, Frank, giving youngsters opportunities toward careers.
Then they go to Rutledge and for a first down.
Well, it's, as you said, it's about not only what goes on in the classroom, but being able to apply it outside of the classroom. Right. And these are great opportunities. And we've got to
tell you about how to do something all day long, but until you know this, Frank, you've been so successful professionally. Until somebody lets you intern, lets you do it, you don't really know.
Absolutely. And that's what we hear. We've got students down in your truck right now.
Yeah, and that's great.
And they talk about it all week long because it's it's great experience for them.
They've decided to make Tonic a receiver in this third quarter, and it's worked out pretty well for him.
And he's a big target. I mean, let's face it. He circles in out of the backfield. He's a phone booth. I mean, you can see him, right? Yep. You drop the ball to him right over the top.
Yeah, his area code is very clear. 4-4. they dialed
that, Greg. I like that. He's a big kid.
First down and goal from the 6. I think one of the things that it's so great is you got the students on the sidelines and in the truck. They're gaining so much practical professional experience just from our opportunity to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're learning from people who are pros, and you just can't find that anywhere else.
Rutledge made a spin move attempt, but instead he was tossed out of bounds by Sean Starks with gusto.
Greg, Frank may have made the salient point as this drive continued, and that was they tried to run a little hitch screen out there where they had a blocker out in front of them, one down, one back, you pitch him the ball. But Frank was saying we're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. It allows Torillo to get comfortable back there, Frank, and now he's finding people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
We could still have a ball game yet, even though it's 35-14 entering the fourth. We'll be right back.
You ready, Tom?
So here we go for the fourth quarter. So Frank Rebar, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, guys. You guys are fantastic, as always.
And Mike Duffy, the athletic director and former football coach, is going to join us here for the final quarter of play. Second down from the 6-yard line. And fake holding on, and he didn't get a good pass off. We've got a special interview. Let's go down to Rick Poland and the newest Bruiser mascot, Bruiser 2, here at Adrian College.
Thanks, Greg. I'm down here with Bruiser 2, the new mascot for Adrian College. Bruiser, just a few questions for you. I know it's a busy day for you. Tell us a little bit about how it's been on your first day. Well, he's whispering a little bit. He can barely speak. But I think we'll move up to Janine, who's really the voice behind Bruiser 2 there. You can see Bruiser 2 in the background. Janine, tell us a little bit about Bruiser 2 and the background of the Bulldog mascot.
Well, Bruiser 2 came to campus on December 17th. He had an amazing predecessor, and he's following in some pretty big paws to fill. He's sporting his number 2 jersey today for the first time, and this is his first game. I think he's doing a great job.
Well, he's doing a great job. I know that he's been very busy getting a lot of selfies taken. He's kind of the center of attraction. Tell us a little bit your role with Bruiser, and I guess you're pretty much his handler and so forth. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be Bruiser 3.
Very good. I was going to say I'm his handler, but actually he handles me. I came on board 9 years ago with the first Bruiser. I kind of got roped into it, not really knowing what I was getting into. Best job ever. Best job ever.
Well, I can imagine that because he certainly is a magnet. Everybody comes around to see Bruiser. Certainly anyone that's a mascot and a fan of Adrian wants to come down, see Bruiser, get a picture taken with him. And it certainly is a great addition to the athletic program. Janine, thanks a lot for being with us. And Bruiser, thank you.
Bruiser, hey, high five. Can you do a high five? High five.
There we do. Okay, good. High five. There we go. Bruiser 2 here at Adrian College. Back to you guys.
I think the reason he didn't want to be interviewed was because they're right on the goal line. You notice how he's always looking out at the field and he even wanted to go onto the field.
I think Bruiser and Rick ought to, get their own show together. I see a half-hour halftime show here at Adrian College. Rick, I think it would be fantastic. We're going to pitch that to Mr. Duffy up in the box right now.
And Bruiser still intensely watching the field as the Adrian defense trying to show the toughness of a Bulldog and keep him out of the end zone. 4th and 1. This is a huge play in this game. Tarillo looked like he was going to throw and then just managed to duck in under 2 potential tackles for the score.
Well, that's a tough cover. We've got Coach Duffy up here, the outstanding AD at Adrian College. And Duff, that's a tough cover because they go empty, they spread everybody out, and they underwear you, they spread the defense, and then the quarterback just picks a seam. It's a little tough.
It's an easy walk-in on that, and the defensive end got caught down inside, and it was an easy kind of walk.
Bruiser wanted to come out and make the tackle, but he was just too far away. And now a flag goes on this extra point attempt.
Well, AD Duffy, how do you feel about a Rick Poland Bruiser half-hour show prior to all the Adrian games? Are you open to that?
I just don't know if Rick can handle because Bruiser will take over. I tell you, when he sets his mind to it, he's going to run the show.
Rick will be the second banana to Bruiser. Bruiser will be the lead. Rick will be the second banana. Now we can go with that.
Just like Janine, Bruiser will handle Rick.
Rick will just have to be careful, Rick.
Yeah.
Bruiser's pretty demanding.
Rick's done a great job on the sideline today, and all the Adrian student communication kids have been they've been terrific. They've
Tom,
really
we got to thank the great relationship BCSN has with Adrian College. We appreciate it and all you do, and helping our students. What a great experience. There's nothing better than saying, hey, you're a communications major, and here's a microphone. Get in front of that camera and do an interview.
You know what, Duff? I'm so familiar with what you guys do because I was privileged to coach here. My daughter went here and had one of the great experiences.
We still haven't recovered from that yet, by the way.
But it's always been an Adrian thing to get kids in their path of what they want to do and create opportunities, because you can talk about doing something all day long, but until you actually do it, you don't really understand the job.
And I'll give a lot of credit to our faculty. They do a great job of internships, externships, whatever you want to call it, off-campus job experience. And you're right, there is no other thing better than to do it in person, whatever it is, whether you're a doctor or a biologist or a business person or communications,
That extra
stick them in the limelight and have them perform. It's no different than the quarterback today. Freshman young man, Jack's doing a great job, and you'd think he was a senior.
Yep. Bruiser.
That's not Bruiser.
This is why you want to keep kickoff returns in the game.
Yeah.
An electrifying return down to the 3-yard line. And Adrian is going to be really in business again.
But Greg, to your point, you said earlier in the broadcast when that ball gets dropped and it kind of hesitates and everybody stops, Duff, you know the gunners slow down, they hesitate, and then I'm not picking on the kicker, but 18, the kicker, he was lining up on your guy, he had no chance to tackle him on the open field. The kicker had no chance.
If the kicker makes a tackle, I feel sorry for the kid in the locker room afterwards because he's going to get razzed.
The kicker had no chance of making that tackle.
Antonio Goins takes it all the way to the 6-yard line is where they spotted it. Both times when Buffalo State has scored, Adrian's come right back, and there they do again. And a 4th touchdown reception for Jared McGaw.
I don't get this, Duff. You got to help me with this, Greg. They've done this so many times. Down on the goal line, the DB has to line up on the inside, take away the direct drive slant, and make you throw fade. And they're giving them the drive slant.
But I don't know. Is it their coverage? I mean, they play one coverage. They don't play any other coverage. They play a basic cover 3.
You got to take the inside, Duff.
No, I get it. I don't know why the safety's not helping him.
Yeah, well, on McGaw, what they should be doing, Duff, is put the corner nose up on McGaw and bring the safety over and make somebody else beat you. That's what they should be doing.
Or drop the outside linebacker underneath it.
There you go.
Let's take another look at it. And I'm sure you're both right here in this debate.
Oh, Bruiser's joining.
And the slant and attacked by McGaw.
You can't give the slant up. You got to take that away. There it is. Take the inside, make him throw fade.
But you talk about the safety help on all 3 of those plays. It's been one-on-one. There's been nobody else, no other defender anywhere near the play.
Your safety's up in the box. If you're going to do that, Tom, you got to drop the outside linebacker to come underneath the slant.
I know McGaw can beat me, so he's proven that to me today. So I'm going to make.
I think you'd want to double.
I'm going to make somebody else beat me. That's exactly right.
Amen.
McGaw is McGaw today. You cannot cover him.
Well, you know, Worcer is getting the ball in the right spot.
Yeah, and he's throwing it on time, Doug.
Yes.
Everything's been on time.
The only one was his 2nd touchdown down here, down to the Adrian end, where he threw it a little bit behind him. But you know what? That was early in the game. He's still trying to figure the whole thing out.
He's done a remarkable job today.
And he got a touchdown out of it anyway.
Exactly.
Had one of the best debuts probably anybody's ever seen.
Maybe in the history of Adrian College, made a long time, Duff.
I don't know. There's been a couple good ones.
There's been some good ones.
Bobby Banks is a good one.
Okay. Got to be in the top 5, top 10.
Absolutely in the top 5. There's no doubt there.
Because this is a poised, polished performance from a first start freshman. It really is.
And Jared McGaw is doing a lot to embellish his performance.
Well, you know, when you got a target like that, it doesn't hurt. And then when you can turn around and hand it off to number 6.
Well, and Stu doesn't get credit. They're looking at his rushing yardage. But when they make that fake to Stu, the linebackers come up, the safeties walk up, and everybody's open downfield. He affects the defense.
Especially with the coverage they're doing with that outside leverage, it gives everything open.
Yes.
And so when you bring the underneath coverage down because they think number 6 is going to get the ball, it opens up all that underneath.
He's affecting the game even when he's not,
even though he's
ripping big yardage up.
Absolutely.
So twice now, Buffalo State has pulled back within 2 scores, only to have Adrian turn it around almost immediately on that long touchdown pass to McGaw, and then that kick return that set up another one. Pitch to the outside, and they pick up Got 5 yards on first down as the ball went to Omar Robinson. And a penalty flag is down.
Duff, we have to acknowledge Greg and I and the entire crew the great job that Leslie's done for us today. The food, I know, Leslie is just like Stewie in that, Duff. Get this analogy. She affects the broadcast, whether she's down on the field, up in the box. It makes no difference. It's a Leslie performance.
Okay, she does a great job.
All right, that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted, Duff. We got it on tape. We're going to cut that, splice it, put it together about 40 times. And
I'm going to say that you had that 45 to my head, and that I had to say it.
All right.
Even with Leslie standing behind me.
All right.
Way to put me on the spot, huh?
Well, coming from you, that's magnified in its meaning probably 10 times. It looks like we're going to have a walk-off against Buffalo State.
Those are drive killers right there, the holding calls and everything. So
that's you sneaked up and put the great Leslie on that bag, isn't it?
I thought we were joined by Bruiser there for a minute.
So finally, when this all shakes out, it's going to be a 1st and 25 on the 14-yard line for Buffalo State, and they don't want a long field like that, down 3 touchdowns. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Bulldog that comes around quite a bit.
Now, that's Bruiser 3, maybe?
No.
I think that's more like Bruiser 27. I'm not sure. Oh, I'll tell you, it's been a great atmosphere today at Adrian College, as it always is.
Well, if Bruiser 2 ever can't make it for whatever reason, there's a stand-in available, so that's good.
Well, the only person that's interviewing him is Rick Poland from now on, I'll tell you that.
We'll have to call him when you're not here.
The only person allowed to interview Bruiser is Rick. That's it.
They still haven't adjudicated this whole thing down on the field.
It's the longest timeout I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if it was equipment, injury.
And we've rehashed the Bruiser interview several times over, and they're still not straightened it out.
If it's equipment, then they should replace the guy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Can we state enough the day that your freshman quarterback, Coach Duffy, Worcer's had? It's been remarkable, and the day McGaw's had. I mean, I honestly think that Stewart, when he's done playing here, and McGaw, I think they could play in Canada. With the wider field, I really feel they have that skill level ability. I truly do.
And we get contacted from them, periodically, and I don't know what Stu's going to do. He's such a great young man. He's taken on his family responsibilities with his young daughter and wife now. Such a phenomenal young man, to be 21 years old and have a family. You know how difficult it is. You have a family, I have a family. And we weren't ready when we thought we were ready.
I'm still not ready. I'm starting to mature a little bit,
Exactly.
but I've still got a long ways to go.
A nice contract in the CFL would help with a lot of security.
A lot of it, So, but two great young men, and you can't say enough about Jack. Worcer, he got his opportunity today, and he's done a lot with. I would say he's got 4 years of good, serious frontage in front of him.
Well, I think it's worth saying that I was impressed with how he was playing even before the first one of those long passes was off.
Very, very poised, very under control.
Downfield, that one is nowhere near anyone.
But Coach Duff, you made a great point about Worcer's performance. That one go route on the sideline, there's so many of them to McGraw today. But Worcer stepped up. He knew he was going to get drilled. We've coached quarterbacks. A lot of them see the hit coming. They go to the back foot all the way, and they short arm it. He stepped up into the contact, pumped it out there about 45 yards. They call that class throwing the football, that you're willing to take the hit to make the play.
And, he's impressed me with his arm strength today, too.
Yeah, no question.
3rd and 21. That's going to be a tough way to try to get 21 yards. Robinson makes his best out of it, but that's not going to be anywhere close.
The defense has done a nice job, controlling them in the third down situation. And, they've got some talented people from Buffalo State. Their wide receivers. Their quarterback, I don't know if he's got the strongest arm, but I tell you what, he's an athlete.
He is. Duff, it's a mechanical thing with him, and I'm surprised because I've been talking about it ad nauseum, but when he puts his wrist on top, you need to have your wrist on top to drive the football, transfer your weight, and create a passing arc. Sometimes he flops his wrist over, flat hands the ball, and that creates those waffle balls that are inaccurate. So he can drive the football when he does it mechanically right.
He's made a couple of outstanding passes.
Nice
There's
punt.
another one. That's their punting parallel to that field goal attempt earlier. And it went downfield all of 12 yards.
If we could put one on the board here, we could put it away.
Yeah.
Because they're so explosive. I mean, Buffalo State, if they break loose on any one of their guys, their tailback, either wide receiver, they have the speed, they have the ability to break it big.
Greg made some good points earlier that Bailey coming out of the backfield, that might be
We haven't seen him in the second half.
Yeah, that might be a part.
Be hurt, maybe.
They want to develop more because that kid coming out of the backfield catching the ball was a weapon.
Sure.
Could break some tackles and make some yardage on his own if he had to. 1st and 10 from the 36. There goes Emmanuel Stewart. And he turns on that great acceleration. It has 7 yards on first down.
Boy, it'd be a nice little dose of Emmanuel Stewart for a while right now and just kind of eat some of this clock down. And
well, hey, Duff, so many people that, again, in the stands or watching on TV that drinking a pop and eating the hot dogs, they don't understand how Emmanuel affects the game. Even if he's not ripping big yardage, those little fakes to him draw the linebackers up, draws the safety up.
I was talking to Jim before the game, and
look at him bounce off tackles and then sidestep another one, and there it is. We said every game he breaks one, there it is.
Yeah.
28 yards.
That's what he does. He's going to lull you to sleep, and then next thing you know, he's gone.
Well, he puts so much pressure on the defense.
Yeah.
Because if you come up and you don't square on him, you don't really wrap him, you don't get a good takedown. Watch this. One cut, another cut outside, another cut. That sideways cut was incredible, and then his speed he's got to be a 4-4 guy, and
Yeah, he's his lower body strength is amazing.
Greg was talking about
just
that.
Amazing.
He runs bigger than he is.
You're not going to tackle him in the legs, and he's shifty enough that, and his vision. His peripheral vision is just phenomenal. I wish there was a way to measure it.
Right.
Because that lateral cut, both those lateral cuts are just your normal running back can't make those cuts.
They're not making those cuts.
We got to take a break. That should put him over the 4,000 career yard mark in his career, Emmanuel Stewart. 49-21, Adrian. 23 to go, 49-21. Adrian leading, and I think now, once and for all, one would think maybe they've put this Buffalo State team back in their place. What an incredible run again. It's worth watching again by Emmanuel Stewart.
Guys, take this by Stewart and you clip this run, and it's indicative of what this young man can do. Strength running in the lower body, making people miss, the sideways step, the great acceleration. You could splice that run right there, take it to Canadian League coaches and say, hey, with that wide field up, this guy could play in that league, I'm telling you.
Well, number 9, the safety had a great angle on him, and he lost his angle purely by that young man's speed.
I was exactly going to say it. Looked like they had him cornered. He just outran him, and that's a defensive backfield man. Thrown and
Nice play,
incomplete,
Austin.
broken up by Lawrence Austin, and he's had an outstanding game today.
Had a great opportunity to interview the young man. He's a terrific young man.
You talk about a great young man, even off the field, what he does to help young men, young women, all over the place.
He was terrific,
I
though.
mean, he's just
He
a
really
great
was.
young man.
He's been a leader on this field. 2 plays, 36 yards, and that outstanding 28-yard run by Stewart. He accounted for all those 36 yards.
So one thing that we see that some of their parents don't see is the growth socially that some of these young men and young women do over the course of 4 years.
Sure, absolutely. And they grow because they're not at home being kind of, your home, it's a protected bubble. But you got to get out on your own, and you're on campus, and you're on your own, and you're responsible to go to class. You're responsible to do your internship.
It has a lot to do with all of them. We heard President Docking and Frank Rebar talking about all the opportunities for student involvement here on a small campus. It forces them to get out, take on leadership role and maturity that way.
And there's so many leadership roles on campus.
Right.
Just not only athletics, but there's 85 clubs and organizations on campus. I mean,
something for everybody, that's for sure. Heard the bass fishing team's #1 in the nation right now.
They are, and they're fishing over in Sandusky this weekend, and they were supposed to be able to go out into Lake Erie, but they have 5 to 7 in the bay.
Wow.
Waves.
Whoa.
Out in Lake Erie, they're 7 to 9, so they've shut them down, and they can only stay in the bay.
You have to get the surfing team out there.
No kidding.
And Duff, as the great AD that you are here, you've had an incredible run here. You're starting crew, is that right?
Yeah, they start up. Actually, they'll start practice on Monday. We're putting the final touches on the boathouse as we speak. The boats are in. The oars came yesterday, and they're ready to go paddle away starting Monday.
Looks like Tim McPhee's going to be all right. They're working on him a little bit down on the sideline, but
Tim made a great interception, that double catch he made, which was pretty cool. Duff, you need to recruit Toledo for crew. It's big in Toledo.
Well, our coach went to St. John's.
Oh, well, then you've already got it covered.
So he's doing a great job down there. We've got a few there.
Yeah, crew's big in Toledo. It really is.
Yeah, we'll get some of those Dragon Boat participants to join the crew up here. 4th down and 2. Spent a lot of this half going for 4th downs. They've been pretty successful, and they're going to be successful again as Rutledge got out to the 41.
Well, you can definitely see what they're trying to do with the little bubble screen.
Right.
That's been their kind of MO in the second half. They're trying to get their skilled kids with the ball, and maybe they'll break something, and I think Jimmy Deere's got them coached up to cup it, let them have it, cup it, and just corral them.
Yep, that's right, Duff. Keep it in front of you. If that play's well executed, as you know, it's tough to defend. You got a blocker out in front of you. It's the modern way to run the football on the outside. Basically is what it is.
And if you come up and take it, they'll go deep on you.
Right.
And there's one of those circle routes, but it was behind Robinson. They've been successful with that play for the most part, but that time they couldn't connect.
Duff, what a great day. Temperature was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, 68
early in the
degrees,
season, sometimes
wind.
we're in the 85-degree days.
Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, literally.
Yeah.
Air conditioned most of the day. You walk outside and take your breath away.
It was
so
rough.
humid.
They were rough days.
Oh my gosh, it was horrible.
But this is beautiful, beautiful football weather.
I felt bad for the athletes. I walked out to practice a couple times and just said, hey,
rough.
take a break.
A great Adrian home crowd here today.
Yeah, we did. Outstanding crowd. I was a little disappointed in Buff State, but
yeah, they don't have too many over there. It's a long trip, of course. Long pass downfield, and perfectly timed. Starks has played a solid game in the defensive backfield, and he just prevented that reception as it looked for a moment as though Vinny Gregory was open.
That's a great defensive play, Greg. You're spot on. A great call. Wow, because Trullo put that where it needed to be. Watch this. It's on the numbers. The hit comes in. The arm comes in. Same time the ball does. That's a great play.
Gave him the opening and then took it away. And it's 3rd down and 10. This is a really young defense for Adrian, and they really played very well.
I think there's 8 new starters this year for the defense. So
going to mature and get better and better. Downfield, circus catch, but knocked out of his hands. A flag's going to go, though.
Well, they're going to call I think they're going to call the targeting on that to the head.
Camden Miller.
I think
pardon me, that was Danny White defending that.
I think that's what they're going to call. That was a straight seam route down the middle. The Buffalo State receiver went up to get the ball at the high point. He did a great job. I'm sure Steve will give us another look at this, but I think that's what they're going to call. They're discussing it. Maybe they'll pick it up.
The guy makes the catch, and you've got a chance to jar the ball loose with a hit. I just don't see how you can. Well, you can be so.
They're talking it over, Greg,
and strict about calling that kind of a penalty in that situation.
Anytime today you get up into the head area, here's a straight seam. It's a good throw. Take a look at it.
You didn't even get up in that area.
He hit him with his shoulder.
Yeah,
had nothing to do with that.
There's nothing to do with the head on that.
But I mean, there are plays when you're just there and you cannot just dematerialize. You don't have any choice.
Steve gave us another look at that. The helmet got a little underneath the chin area. On the second look, there was a little bit of
shoulder hit first.
I mean, if you call that, you might as well stop trying to make a tackle on a play like
tough.
that.
They're talking it over. Give them credit. You know, they're talking it over.
Hopefully, they will pick this flag up as they did earlier after a similar discussion.
They're saying, "What'd you see? Here's what I saw." That's what a good crew does, Doug.
Yep.
You know that. And that's what. Take another look. All right, here we go. See if the helmet of the defender gets underneath the helmet of the receiver. Here you go. Coming in from the side, right here. Watch his helmet. Where is it?
Yeah, he ducks his head away.
It's in the chin area, though. I don't know if they're going to pick it up or not, guys.
I mean, it happens in such a split second. You just simply don't have a chance to make that kind of adjustment. But let's see what they call. Obviously, it's a point of emphasis, meaning that they're going to make special attention to that.
I would concur. Instant replay up here.
Yeah, we've looked at it a lot.
I don't think in the days before the point of emphasis, I don't think that anybody would have thought of making that call.
No,
right.
And it was not contact to the head. Oh, it's roughing the passer. Well, I guess it's a little easier to swallow because they would have called roughing the passer anyway.
That was a tough call. You know, you could have argued on both sides of it. We have up here. Steve gave us a lot of looks.
Danny White getting a real round of applause as he comes off the field. He's leaving the field, but everybody's cheering him.
Yeah,
it was just a great football play.
You get another look. Steve's getting to see that. I think what the official saw is the helmet coming in there.
I mean, if there's anything wrong with that, then you can't play football anymore. That's just Mike's going to go down
here. Now watch, Greg.
Out, but
see how the helmet. Steve gave us a great look there. The helmet actually came under the chin and the head area. Watch this. Steve's giving us another great look. Now watch the helmet come in.
I just don't see how you can. I mean, I understand about the point of emphasis, but you've got to be allowed to defend a play.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to go on the side. I think it's a good call. If that's what the rule is, then it was a good call.
Then you better just let him catch the ball and score a touchdown.
Well, I don't know if we have to go that far, but I get your point.
Let him catch the ball then at least. Don't even try to break it up.
I understand where you're going with that. I get it.
Snap is up, and it almost popped loose. It did pop loose, but Robinson got it back and got within a yard of the first down distance. That looked like a disaster waiting to happen, similar to a play they had in the first half.
Yeah, Greg, you're right. You're spot on. The speed option that they've tried to run out of
that was one of the Tom Cole pitch plays, right?
It was. I did it exactly like that. They had no success trying to run the speed option, Greg. The pitch just really hasn't worked out for them.
It's very indicative, the hearty round of applause that Danny White got as he had to leave the field after making that play. It was like everybody here was telling him, that was a great play you just made.
Well, and it certainly wasn't intentional by any stretch of the imagination.
And again, they run into each other. And Robinson, running for his life, got actually a yard out of it and close to a first down. In fact, he got the first down. I mean, football is a tough sport, and that can never change. As long as this game is played, it is a tough game. It has hard hitting and collisions. You cannot take that entirely out of the game, no matter how much you try to work with the rules to do that. 1st and 10. Circling out of the backfield, wide open. No one anywhere near Omar Robinson, and he's inside the red zone. Finally stopped on the play by Jordan Post.
Yeah, that circle-in pattern, Greg, you called it, has been very successful for Buffalo State the entire game. And all it really is the back hesitates a little bit, and then he circles in where the linebackers used to be, because they all move when the ball is snapped, and you throw them the football. It's pretty simple, actually.
Drew Oberheim on the tackle. They have double 37s. Delayed handoff. Robinson's become their new workhorse, and he picked up about 3 on the play before being stopped.
Well, this is an old play the Cincinnati Bengals used to run with Sam Weiss, who was, during his time, was a pretty innovative offensive coordinator. It's a delayed draw, kind of a sneaky draw, and it was well defended.
Tim Ramsey made the tackle. 2nd and 9. Credit this Buffalo State team. Every time they get knocked down to the mat, they're right back threatening to score again. And credit Adrian. Every time Buffalo State has scored to get back in the game, Adrian's come right back and answered. Down to the 15-yard line, Robinson again.
That's that Sam Weiss sneaky draw, the old Bengals play.
I have to believe that Martin, that strong running back, Martin Bailey, must have gotten injured in that first half. We haven't seen him out on the field at all.
I agree with you, Greg.
He was by far their biggest spark plug on offense. Rutledge and Everett have been effective here in the second half. Torillo back to throw. Open man again, caught. Everett trying to forge his way into the end zone. It looks like a rugby scrum by the end with all those Adrian players joining in.
Well, and that was a good throw by Torillo. He had his wrist on top. It was a good A to B throw. It had good velocity on it. Boom, turns him loose.
Actually looked like a rolling maul, to use the rugby terminology there by the end. And it is 1st and goal from the 3. Buffalo State's won the only previous meetings between these teams, but that could change here. In fact, it looks very likely with under 6 minutes to go. And with the Bengals not giving up yet. You said that Sam White play, this is the Bengals out here.
Yeah, that's right.
Fade to the end zone, open, and a great recovery there by the 3-time all-conference linebacker, Chris Adams.
That was a great play because he was open for a touchdown. It's thrown a count late, but watch him come in and recover on this.
Boy, that's where the receiver's just thinking, come to me a little faster.
Torillo, if he throws it 1 count sooner, it's a touchdown, but he threw it late. But boy, this is a great recovery. See how he went up through the ball? That was a great play. No foul, no penalty there, just good clean up through the ball and broke it up.
Great versatility. He'd been all league as a linebacker. Then last year they moved him to free safety. He was first team all league as a free safety. Now they moved him back to linebacker. Wherever he goes, he makes a huge impact. And Torillo got to the 1. Another thing about Adams, you talk about Emmanuel Stewart and guys that affect the game even if they don't carry the ball. Adams hasn't made a lot of defensive plays, but because they respect him so much, they go the other way.
You know what? That's a great point, Greg. You have to go in another direction, so it makes it more difficult.
That's why Lawrence Austin has been so involved, because he's making the plays.
Right.
Pretty soon they're not going to be able to go there either. Then what do you do?
Yeah, well, that's when you have a great defense. It's called the Steel Curtain in Pittsburgh. Where did you go against them? Where were the weak points?
Third down and 1 from the end zone. Man in motion, Tarillo throws it into traffic, and he managed to stick it in there for the touchdown.
Greg,
a lot of his receptions have been between two defenders.
It's that little circle in. You sneak out of the backfield, you circle in a little bit. There it is. Boom. There you go.
Vinny Gregory making the catch. And it's 49-27. Boy, this has turned into a real offensive game in the second half. The first half it was 28-7, but a couple of really big plays that were unlikely inflated the score, but here the offense have really taken control. And the kick is up, and he missed it. A little better kick than that field goal he missed, but he got under it again. 49-27 with 4:46 to go in the third. Well, they announced the man back deep, but everybody knew an onside kick was coming, and they did a good job recovering it. And it will be Adrian ball just to their side of midfield.
Well, everybody has their hands team, Greg, and when you know it's going to be an onside, you get guys in there that are pretty comfortable handling the football.
And let's go down here where we have a moment to Rick on the sideline.
Hey, thanks, Greg. I had one of those rare opportunities to actually talk to a player on the sideline during the game. You don't get those very often, and I did happen to talk to Jack Wurzel a little bit about his day today. And the first question I asked him was, did you ever throw that many touchdowns in one pass in high school? And he said, well, no. He did have 5 his sophomore year, but he said this was something a little bit special, especially in his first game. And I said, well, you know, that's true. You're coming out here as a first-time quarterback, probably a lot of jitters and everything. He said, yeah, but it certainly helps to have a receiver that can haul him in and also set a record at the same time. So all in all, you know, a great afternoon for the freshman, and an opportunity to talk to a young man who's very humble and who's but also very talented. And I think Adrian Colley's got a lot to look forward to with him under center or in shotgun. Back to you guys. Yeah.
Can he throw in a couple words? Is Bruiser down with you? Can he throw in a couple words? I think you like that run. All right.
Rick, you've done a great job on the sideline today. We sure appreciate it. Great job.
3:40 to go, clock running. Good run down to the 22-yard line. It's still 49-27. It looks like they might eclipse the 50 mark here, the way things are going. Jack Wurzel set the bar pretty high as he goes forward in his Adrian career. It's going to be a tough act to follow in future weeks as he gives the ball to Colton Randall.
taken out by number 45, Anthony Castillo, and number 11, Joshua Benjamin.
People hoping he can do the job to hoping he can throw 5 touchdown passes.
If you rewind, Greg, to the back of the starting of the ball game, you remember the first pass that Adrian threw, it was just a little hitch, a simple completion. Most of the people in the stands could make it. But that's a confidence builder for a guy starting his first game. My first throw is a completion. Okay, if people don't understand how much confidence is in the position of quarterback. It's a huge part of it, and credit Adrian because they called some early plays for Wurzer that were confidence builders, and then the rest of it now is kind of Adrian folklore, really. For have a freshman walk in and play a game like this, as Coach Duffy has been here forever at Adrian College, this is a top 5 performance in the history of the school for freshman starting quarterbacks. So
I tell you what, they would have had to be great performances indeed to eclipse this just because of the 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree. I think
how many guys throw 4 touchdown passes in their first ever start? Boy, Colton Randall took a shot on that last play, but he's none the worse for wear.
Wurser's been incredible.
You could tell, as I was mentioning, his first 5 passes would have all been completed with a lot of authority, except for that one that looked like it was caught. They said it was trapped. Here goes Randall. This time nobody will touch him. Last time he got really walloped. This time nobody's anywhere near him, and he waltzes into the end zone. Adrian's offense has just moved at will in the second half.
Well, McGaw's performance has been rather historic in itself. The freshman quarterback's performance has been historic. Stewart is Stewart. I mean, he's a presence. Even if he doesn't have gaudy numbers, he's a presence.
Say, what would you name that statistic of the yards that you got?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't carry the ball.
Well, they're
you can think about that. We'll be right back. 56-27. Is fielded, and here we've got a long return. A big hit there. Might have knocked down the kicker, and then several other players came in, but Naz Jackson really tore out with that ball and stopped on the play.
Well, here's the
Number
return.
31.
Watch the hit at the end here.
Jack with the tackle.
Watch the hit at the end.
Boom.
Oh, you got to get down. You got to have a little lower leverage than that. You got to get your pads down. Otherwise, you're going to take a major hit.
Thurston, but he slowed him down to let the other guy make the tackle. So even though it looks like he got decleated, he actually did his job.
Well, it takes guts to stand there and take that shot. There's no question about it. Give him credit.
Hand off Robinson. Well, let's get back to the point we were making before we signed off. So you've got a great phrase that describes the hidden yardage that you account for when you don't carry the ball, but everybody's keying on you and it opens things up for someone else.
Yeah, you were talking about Stewart and people key on him, and then other people get big plays, and we were calling it the iceberg yardage because it's the yardage that you don't see. It's beneath the surface, it's there, it's affecting the defense, but it doesn't show up in a stat book.
So when you're calculating all-purpose yards, you got to add how many iceberg yards.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think today that would be salient because Stewart really hasn't had a brilliant game in terms of yards, although that 28-yard touchdown added it. But if you throw in the iceberg yards, He'd have a lot of all-purpose yards.
He impacts the defense in so many ways, and it just doesn't show up in the stat book.
Now, if we were calling the game last week, I would really like that phrase, ice per yard, because it was about 95 degrees.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's a great phrase, and it's a great concept for stats. Get the advanced stat people on that. 30 seconds to go in what is going to be an Adrian victory. Cirillo looking downfield. In fact, looks like they got a new quarterback in there. That looks like Brendan Cimarron. And he looked like he just wanted to get to the sideline. He was beating a fast path there.
Yeah, I've seen that look. I've had that look before. You're not really looking at the end of the ballgame to take a major hit. That's the I want to get out of here play to the sideline and not take a beating doing it.
4th and 10. They're going to go for it. And then quite probably just run the clock out as the ball is handed off. And Omar Robinson is stopped. 3-yard gain. So Adrian will get the ball, and one would think that they would probably just take a knee. They did their rehearsal for the victory formation on the last play of the first half, and now they can do it for real.
It's been a great day here at Adrian College. Tremendous football performance. Great stands. Stands are full. College football the way it should be. Fun.
They just announced Jaron McGaw has broken the all-time single season or single game receiving yardage record of 256 yards. And again, as I say, just about every time we come to Adrian for a game, somebody's breaking a record. And McGaw has gone over 2,000 receiving yards. In fact, way over 2,249 now, which puts him very easily within range of the all-time mark, currently held by Justin Hem. Handoff, they don't do victory formation, but it's a straight gash type running play, and that will end the game. So a historic game for Jaron McGaw, a historic game for freshman quarterback Jack Werzer, and the Adrian College Bulldogs win big, 56-27 over Buffalo State. We'll be right back. (56-27) the final score, Adrian winning it. And certainly this is a good win, not only from the fact that they performed very well and some really tremendous historic proportion individual performances, but this was a good team. 7 consecutive winning seasons, a team with a great tradition, a team that had beaten Adrian in the previous times that they had met. It's the kind of game, sometimes you win a game early in the season and it's a game that is somewhat deceptive because maybe you were just the better team by a wide margin coming in and you win by a big score, but it's not necessarily indicative of what's going to happen from here in. But I think here they have really handled a team that probably would be very competitive with the other teams that Adrian's going to face this year.
Yeah, you're spot on, Greg. And sometimes you come to a football game for your school that you're rooting for, like the Adrian Bulldogs, and you see the future when you show up at the ball game. when you look at Jack Worser, the freshman quarterback, you just saw your future for 4 years. You're going to have a youngster playing quarterback that is pretty gosh darn good. Now the question is,
the present was pretty good too.
That's where I was just going. How much better is this young man going to get through the maturation of year after year after year of repetitions and seeing new things? So you'd have to feel very good about the future of Adrian College football.
Yeah, it's not going to be a straight trajectory. Obviously, I don't think he's going to perform like this every week, and he's going to learn the hard way, just like all freshmen do. But he certainly showed a really good glimpse, and more than a glimpse, of his potential as a quarterback.
Yeah, and I thought you framed it well all afternoon. I thought we were privileged to a performance by a wide receiver. McGaw's performance was as good as you'll see anywhere from a college wide receiver. He made, a number of incredible catches, body control, getting the ball at its high point, running after the catch. This young man is a tremendous receiver.
Yeah, reading the play, adjusting on the fly, cutting to the inside, everything, just an outstanding performance, and he's the player of the game as far as I'm concerned. Well, that will do it. Adrian wins it 56-27 over Buffalo State. For Rick Poland, all of our Adrian College reporters, our crew, and for Tom Cole, Greg Franke saying so long from Docking Stadium.